What's up, people? It's your man ThaBlackCobra back once again with the Wheel Life Show. So today we are going to continue our conversation as usual with all things PEV. Electric unicycles are the primary focus because you know I love my wheels. But today we have a special guest. We are going to bring in the One Stop Board Shop owner, Brian, and he's going to talk to us about how he transitioned from just having boards and one wheels and into our wonderful community of EUCs. We're going to talk about that today. So without further ado, I want to bring in my man, Brian from the One Stop Board Shop. Brian, what's up, buddy? How you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. I normally actually I turn this down, so let's see how this sounds. Tell me if it's hurting your ears, because
No,
I
sounds
got
good.
I got complaints that it was too loud, so I'm turning all the sound effects down. It's sad because then this one, let's go, is a lot lower.
Let's
but
go.
but thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming on the show, buddy, and giving us an opportunity to get to know you, because I, like other people, have wondered, One Stop Board Shop, what's it all about, and is it really a place for us to go? So today we're going to have that conversation and give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to people who may not know you and may not know where you come from and what you're all about. But before we get to that, I do want to give a shout out to those already in the chat. What's going on? Metalhead Dead, you're the first one I see in the chat. We got E. Simon. Good day, mate. Good to see you from down under. We got Annabelle. What's up, man? Robert Larkin. What's going on? What he said, just put a pizza in, ready to go. All right.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
I know, me too. Me too. Spartacus says, what's up? What's going on? Oh, and actually, I keep forgetting to pop you guys up here. I forget I can throw you up on screen. Spartacus, what's up? Simon says, good day, Brian, to you as well.
Good day, Simon. Good day.
So yeah, we got my EUC journey. What's up, buddy? My man, we got to know each other a little bit down at the Amped Electric Games. Good to see you in here, brother. Okay, Simon, you said louder. Let's go. What's going on? Hey?
Let's go.
Yo, what's up, Jose Juarez? What's going on, man? Good to see you, man. So yeah, guys, I turned it down because I got complaints about the horn being too loud in my volume. Guys, tell me in the chat, are the volumes pretty comparable? Because it's weird when I connect with different people, their volume may be louder than the last person, and then my volume, I turned it down and I was like, oh man, then I sounded too low last time. I don't know. So how the volume sound to you guys in the chat, because you guys are the ones that can hear both sides. And how does this sound? All right, Robert Larkin says things sound great. All right, perfect. So Metalhead Dead said he's killing a turkey wrap right now. Stop the food talk, y'all. Stop the food talk. Me and Brian are hungry, bro.
You guys know, yeah, it's 5 o'clock over here on the East Coast. It's right about dinner time. You guys are like, oh, I'm chowing down. Sitting here like, oh man, lunch was hours ago.
I'm like, I was running around getting my kids and I didn't get time to eat. I'm like, okay, hold up. We'll talk about food after. And you got your cup there. I got my new cup. It finally came in. I'm loving it. Got my new hat. I'm loving it. Oh, yeah. So
I got my water here.
Here you go. You got to have the water.
Coffee. This guy's up for sale on OneStopBoardShop.com for anyone who wants that guy.
You got both of them, huh?
You guys are going to love this. Yeah. Our coaster.
Avoid serious energy. Don't touch my board. I like it. That's right. Yeah, same thing. I gotta make some more wheel life things. I do have my Cobra stuff is for sale, of course, but that's really mostly just for me. I'm gonna make some more wheel life things. Um, I got unicyclism. Somebody saw my old shirt and they wanted one, so I'm gonna remake that one. So anyway, back to you, Brian, my man.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a pleasure talking to you. Brian and I had a conversation yesterday, and it was a great conversation. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you because, like I told you yesterday, I really appreciate talking to like-minded people, and you seem to have the same energy and like mind as I do. So I appreciate you. That's right. That's right. Let's go.
Let's go.
So I want to give you an opportunity to talk to the people, those that don't know you and those that don't know what One Stop Board Shop is really all about. First and foremost, I always ask the question about EUCs, but before we even get to that, tell me about the beginnings of your board shop and the beginnings of your business, how you got into where you are, and what's going on with you.
All right. So, first off, I just want to say real quick, thank you again, man, for having me on the show. This is killer. It's super stoked to be here. Super stoked to be talking to you and your audience, and bringing them into the One Stop Board Shop family and bringing the OSBS family out to you guys. So, anyone who's watching right now, if you don't know who we are, check us out on our Instagram at One Stop Board Shop. Check us out on our website, onestopboardshop.com. Join the OSBS Army. Find out what we're all about, and stay tuned with what we're doing because we're doing big things. So, background on me and the company, right? So, I come from board sports. I'm a longboarder, skier, snowboarder. If you could put a board under my feet, I'm on it, right? So I've been riding for years. My buddy, down in Asbury, Matt, he told me, years ago, he was like, yo, you got to check out this thing. It's called the One, right? And I was like, okay, cool. And then he sent me a link. I was like, $1,800 for a skateboard? No way, bro. So then he brought it up, and 4 hours after riding it, I ordered one that night. That was like 4 or 5 months after he told me about it. I was hooked, right? So I'm waiting 5 months. I get mine. And I love this thing, right? Out of the box, it's got a bad headlight cable. So I didn't know what a ferrite even was back then. So I sent it back to the company for non-one-wheelers, Future Motion out in Santa Cruz, California. I sent it back to them for repair, and it took a little bit longer than anticipated. And when it came back, I was like, all right, you know what? I really don't want to send it back if I ever have any problems again, because that took too long. And I really want to just be up and riding within minutes, right? So what I ended up doing was I ended up starting to take things apart, do things on my own, break things up, learn everything there was to know about the board, about the components, about upgrades. I was in the Facebook communities, I was in all the online chats, right, and whatnot, and like all of a sudden people started realizing like, he knows what he's doing with some things. So then all of a sudden I got this tag in one of this, I think it was a Philly group. And just so you guys know, we're out here in Somerville, New Jersey. I live in Bridgewater. So 10 minutes away from the store. So
somebody just asked that question where you are.
Somerville, New Jersey, Central Jersey, brother, Central Jersey. So yeah, we're right smack in the middle of New York City and Philly. So someone from one of the Philly groups was like, yo, I got a problem. And someone was like, yo, hit up Brian Lindy. And I was like, me? Right? I'll help you out. Come on over. And that's how One Stop Board Shop was really born, was through this collective need that I selfishly started for my own board for repairs and upgrades and things that I needed. And then other people were like, I need that too. Can you help? And then One Stop Board Shop became this like little thing that I did, at home to help my local community. And that's what it was all about. It was, our slogan is "We keep you riding," and that's because that's from day one. That's what I've always been about. It's keeping my riders riding, keeping the community riding. Way back when we were only one wheel. I was actually one stop one wheel for like 2 weeks before I realized that probably wasn't the best move. So we started, like I said, dude, I'm a board sports guy. I'm put it under my feet and I'm going. So it really doesn't matter what it is. If they can go under your feet and move, I'm on it. So, and I was like, all right, one day I know I'm going to need, I'm going to get into other things. I don't even know what EUCs were back then, right? So I get into eSkate. I do the same thing. I'm, we're a tier 1 Evolve retailer and a service center and all this stuff. And then, so we were always looking to get into EUC because we saw the direction that was going. But I'll be straight with you guys. Anyone who's outside of the EUC world and trying to look in, it is a confusing world, and I am no different, right? I am no different. I was looking at that. I was like, you guys got 3 different vendors with 9 different models each. You guys, you buy stuff in, what is batch 1, batch 2, batch 3? What does that mean? Like, you make stuff. What is iteration? I had no idea. So, lucky for me, I've got a great community around me of people that, shout out to Linda, one of the very first people, out in Connecticut Linda, I met her in One Wheel and she converted to EUC, and she was like, hitting me up on all these different things, talk to me about wheels, let me test this wheel. And, she actually, my first EUC ever was that I got on, she brought down to my store here in Somerville, after we moved from our old store in Martinsville. So I got on, I think it was a 16X and an M10-3. She brought down both of them. So I tried both of them. And I'll be straight with you, I couldn't ride the 16X for a good minute. The M10-3 I got on, and I was like rocking. I have a video of me riding around the very empty store a week after we opened. But the 16X, like, I could get on, but I couldn't turn. So, and I thought that was a big wheel. That's how novice I was, right? So, I thought a 16X was a big wheel.
Ooh, so, big time.
Yeah. So we wanted to get into EUC in a real way, but I never had I never could do the let me jump off this cliff because I wasn't sure if there was water in that pool or not. So then Dennis, one menacing wheel on Instagram, Dennis Morales, he has literally been trying to, work here for like months before we actually ended up finally pulling the trigger to hire him. So he's been with us for last October 2021 is when I hired him. And he is balls to the wall EUC. So
Dennis, shouts out to Dennis.
Shout out to Dennis, man. He's so just so you guys know, Dennis is also my lead technician, but he is our technician as well as our EUC expert here in the store. So anyone who asks any very specific questions about EUC, I am not the EUC expert. We all, just like you go to a ski and snowboard shop, the skiers don't know as much about the snowboards and the snowboards as much about the skiers. E-skate, that's all Junior. One Wheel is all me, and Dennis is all EUC. So those are the people that you're going to, whenever you hit us up on chat or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you don't know who you're talking to, if you're talking very technical things about EUC, it's Dennis. Always Dennis. Even if it's us responding, we're asking him. So,
Dennis is the EUC guy.
You would see him in the chat right now. He's actually out giving a lesson on a guy who just bought an S22 from us, having a little trouble getting himself started. So he's out doing a lesson right now with someone out in the parking lot. So he's not in the chat right now. But yeah, so when Dennis came on board, he was like, "Let me get you into this game." Right. And I was just a sponge. I was soaking it up. I was like, let me learn everything. So I started riding, I knew how to ride, but I didn't know how to ride. So once I started getting on his wheel and really he came in with a V12, he buys and sells wheels like it's nothing, every other week. So he had a V12, he had an EXN, high torque. He had an RS 19, then it's hard to keep track. So I ended up getting myself an EXN, and I love my EXN. Hate the tire, love the wheel.
Really? Wait, hold on. Was that tire the original tire?
Yeah, the knobby tire. Yeah.
You didn't like that tire?
I don't actually hate the tire. I actually really like the tire, but I don't like it for street because it's super loud. The knobby tire, it's so loud. That's my issue.
You will learn to love the sound. Honestly.
Well, I've seen other street tires and they're so much quieter, and it's the same way as every, Eastgate street tires are quieter, one wheel street tires are quieter. So I just, when I'm out on a trail, I love that thing. That CST Navi tire is awesome. But out in the street, man, it's just like you get. So I actually got, I got really, really into that EXN, man, and I loved it. And then someone came by to repair an S22, and I fell in love with that wheel. I fell in love with the S22. So I've actually got mine coming tomorrow. We actually sell them here now. Dennis ended up buying my EXN because he ended up selling all of his wheels. So he was wheelless for a minute. So he's actually got my EXN now. Man, that's the story. That's the history. That's how we're in the EUC game.
I think Dennis is
more to say, but that's the history. Yeah.
I think Dennis is in the chat now.
What's up, Dennis? Yo, hit up the chat.
He must have his phone with him. I put it on the screen there. He says, "You guys are the best." Shout out to Erwin. Dennis. Man. Yeah. Wheelie Brady says the 666 feels good, like a good tire on the EXN. What did you swap it out already?
I haven't had an opportunity to swap it out because, classic who makes the shoemaker's shoes. I haven't had time. I haven't had time to really dive into it, right?
Who makes the shoemaker's shoes? I like that one.
Yeah, my boards, my wheels, my everything are always the last to get updated because, I had something on. I don't remember what it was. I had something way back when, like 8-9 months ago. I had like a tire that I needed to put on something. I don't even remember if it was my E-skate or my one wheel or whatever it was. Yeah. And it's a 20-minute project. Like it's not a fit. But it took like 6 months before I finally got it done. Because it just listen, man, I'm trying to take care of my customers. I'm trying to go out and ride with the community, and so it's just sitting there. It's like I'll get to it next week, and then next week never comes. So
I get it, man. I get it. Lots of things to do. It makes sense. Shouts out to Tommy. EUC Vibes is in the house. What's up, Vibes? And Dennis says,
"Yo, on Instagram, I know them."
Yeah, Dennis says he's done training. Just so you know, he's in the chat in full effect now. He's done training. He said, "No, we just got a street IRC N77 to test it out."
It just came in literally yesterday, and we're gonna be swapping that out and testing that out real soon. Yeah. Right until we're gonna make sure it's on the wheel, ready in time for Broadway Bomb this Saturday. We're gonna be out in New York City at the Broadway Bomb. Yeah,
Broadway Bomb, people.
Yes, tracking for my S22 because I'm trying to hit the S22 on the Broadway Bomb, but it's got to get here in time, get set up in time, get through that first 7 miles in time because it's got that limiter on it.
What you mean? You don't want to be traveling at 15 miles an hour or 10 miles?
12 miles an hour. 12 miles an hour for 7 miles, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. Put it on a treadmill.
It's so slow.
Put it on a treadmill.
Hold it up.
Yeah, legit. Like you could stand on a treadmill. I did it in a video. I think I did not TikTok, but Instagram reel. And I took my wheel and I stood on a treadmill. And I was riding, and I had an outdoor image up on the TV, so I was like, "Whoo!" Like I was outside,
God, like a ski simulator. That's fantastic.
But you could put those 7 miles on and watch TV at the same time.
You know what I could do? I could go out and ride.
The problem is 12 miles an hour is a terrible ride. It is so boring.
And I get why they do that, and I love that they do that for anyone who that's their first wheel, they've never been on one. But
yes.
I know how to ride. I wish it would skip
yeah. Everybody says that.
Cheat code.
Yeah. Up, down, X, Y.
Yeah. Forward, back, up, down, kill switch, off, kill switch.
Yes, just like they have the hit it 5 times and turn it off and on. You got to come up with another thing to unlock it for us. You know?
See, but then what's going to happen is everyone's going to learn that, and they're going to do that, and they'll be like, I'm going to go 40 miles an hour day one, and they're
Yeah.
going to crash, and then King Song
Yeah.
is going to be like, all right, we got to take that lock off, you know. So you're always going to have someone who wants to go at it full steam ahead, you know. But that's what we're all about, right? Going full steam ahead. I mean, we were just talking yesterday about all of our injuries.
Shoulders shoulders unite.
Yeah, my scar right here.
Yeah, man. Mine goes from
hardware though. I'm not part of the hardware gang. My
Yeah.
second surgery was to take the hardware out.
Mine goes from here to here, all the way down.
Yeah, I've got like a 3-inch scar right here.
Yeah.
You know, I had a hook plate put in. They let me keep it. I keep it up there. I've got a
The
mantle.
plate.
I keep it up there because it was an injury from the sport, brother.
Yeah,
so
man.
I keep it up on the nostalgia mantle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Broadway Bomb people,
Like, that's gross.
the Broadway Bomb is in full effect on Saturday. Unfortunately, I have military in the morning, so I won't be able to make it till the event is over, but I will be in New York after that, and I will be coming down to see everybody because there's going to be, I know Nathan from Rev Rides is going to be in town. Brian said he's going to be in town as well. There's quite a few people that are going to be in town for the Broadway Bomb. I'm upset that I couldn't get out of my obligation to be there and run it because I had fun last year. Well, I've had fun both times I was there to run the Broadway Bomb. I just wanted, if you guys have the opportunity, I definitely think you should make it out to the Broadway Bomb. It's going to be dope as usual, having all those wheels and and when I say wheels, I mean EUC, skateboards, scooters, e-bikes, everything is out there, and we just take over Broadway. It's crazy. It's a great feeling, though. It's a great feeling to be in the company of so many. So if you guys get a chance to go to the Broadway Bomb, make sure you go because it's definitely dope.
At 11:30, kicks off at noon.
There you go. So you should have sent him the video to share. Oh, the video of your accident. Yeah, remember you were talking about it. You were gonna let me see that. I forgot all about it.
Do we want to share that live right now?
I don't know. You tell me.
I hope your audience isn't going to get squeamish. So I want to give a little bit of background to this, right? So, because we put this up in the crash group, and everyone was like, "Oh, classic new rider, error and everything like that." 100% rider error, my crash, right? But I will say that my crash was it was not new rider error. It was too Stokey rider error. We were already there are these racing rails. They're called tail rails. And we were testing them out. We had just put them on. We were testing them out. And I didn't do my classic get used to a board before you push it to its limits. And new rails, man, you got to respect when you have rails that alter the way a board rides. So what happened was we were out really pushing the limits. I was hitting like 25, 26 miles an hour on one wheel. Really enjoying myself. And I had killed my battery. I was under 20%. And anyone in any PV industry knows that 20%, I mean, you should be watching yourself under 50%. 20% is danger zone. I was not watching my battery, bro. So I've got Dennis on his EUC riding, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, trying to keep up with his other, EUC and e-bike people going high speed." I was not trying to keep up with them; they were trying to keep up with me to record me. We're doing it for a video. Like we're all trying. Like I was setting the pace. So this is the video, and here's the funny part. So this is Dennis. I don't know if you guys can see this real well.
If you want to set it to, actually no, we can see that good. That's fine.
So I'm going about 22 miles an hour here, 24 miles an hour, and kablam!
Oh!
Yeah. Now, here's the funnest part about this. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Here, right before I fall, that's the hospital. We were riding on Post Street, which is literally the emergency room entrance to Robert Wood. So, yeah, I literally stood up. I was like, "Am I good? Am I good?" And Dennis is like, "Nah." And I was like, all right.
Wow.
Apologies to anyone out there who's squeamish and didn't want to
Oh
watch
man, please. They seem worse than that.
that.
Patty Mac said that was
Man, yeah,
quick.
so yeah, no reaction time, bro. No reaction time. Just ragdolled, right on the ground, and grade 5 AC separation,
Ouch.
surgical hook plate put in, and then removed March to June, and then PT. March to May, and then PT for 6 months. So
Oh man.
6 months with the hook plate. So
Yeah.
I started PT in like April.
Okay. What did
Yeah.
he say? He said telltale board angle launched. What? Telltale board angle launched you.
So that's exactly right. So when you nosedive on a regular wheel, like you can leverage back your recovery. I've nosedived at 25 miles an hour at least 4 or 5 times in my life. Like it's but because I was on a tail rail, it kind of catapulted. Like I nosedived, and when I leaned back, it catapulted my foot off the front pad. And so what happened was my foot, I catapulted, and it just like straight fell in front of it because it came off the board and then fell. And then I just had I started the run out with my lead foot, which obviously you can't do that. You have to start it with your tail foot. So I was doomed from the start. Yeah, second that nose dropped, man, it was game over.
All I can say is ouch, man. Ouch. He said ambulances are expensive. Got to do all speed runs in the hospital district.
I literally wrecked right like there was an ambulance to my left was in the parking lot. I was like, I don't have to.
That's funny. You know what's crazy is when I was younger, I was riding a bicycle, and I was riding it down a hill, like a major street, and it was a major hill. So we're like getting it, like whew, whew, we started, and then we change gears, put it in hard gear, and you're like really getting up speed. And right as I'm coming down and about to go past the street, a car with no blinker decides to turn right in front of me. So he said, whoop, turned in front of me. I slammed into the side of the car, flipped over the hood. I slipped. I hit the ground and slid all the way across the street, taking all the skin off. Like it was summertime. I was about 13, 14, I think. So wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It stripped all the skin. I still, when I look at my hands, I can see the back of my hand, up my arm. I was raw, right? And I landed, and I'm like, and I looked to my left. There was an ambulance to my left. I was like, no way.
Help.
And they looked at me. They just went, it was hilarious because they said, yeah, we got this one. And then I was like, wow. And I was so mad at the driver. I was like, how do you do that? That's why we have turn signals. They're like, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, man, it was so bad. But, yeah, I wasn't near the hospital, but I was near an ambulance. So good and bad. Good they were able to patch me up and treat me in bad because I did get that bill. So yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, one thing that a bike can only go so fast. When you've got EUC crashes in when we were down in the groundings, down in DC, the EUC crashes hitting we had people slamming into cars and getting cut off and whatnot, right? And EUC crashes when you're hitting a car at 30 miles an hour. I mean, that's
it hurts.
Fun for anybody.
Yeah, it hurts.
I won't comment because I have not had that happen.
Oh.
And, it does. But yeah, man, we saw some people that happened. And listen, man, I will say injuries notwithstanding, you get up. I mean, you get up and you brush it off, and you're like,
yeah,
because when you get on a wheel, you're like, this is This is a when you know when
It's
you
a
get on
risk.
any device, yeah. When I went skiing, I mean, I had a snowboarder cross over my skis at 65 miles an hour. That doesn't bend back. That's permanent.
Yep.
These are the risks that we take in order to do the sports that we love. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the nature of the business.
Mine's is different. Mine's is from karate, but it happens.
Yeah. It happens, man. It
Yeah.
happens. It's the nature of the beast. Yeah.
Dennis said meat crayon. I'm not sure what he meant by that.
You draw with a crayon, but you're drawing with your meat on the ground.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
I got you, Dennis.
What an image, Dennis. What an image. Like, wow. That's exactly what it was like, though. That's for sure. Everybody knows when you get that road rash. As a matter of fact, also on the 16X, I was telling you the story yesterday. I was riding my 16X and I was down to like 30% or lower, somewhere around 30%. And I was pushing it. I was sitting down, and I didn't realize, hey, that's a small wheel for my big ass. I didn't really realize it. And I went I went to pass someone on a bridge, and the wheel couldn't take it. I hit a bump, the little gaps in the bridge. I hit the bump while trying to go faster and pass the people at low battery percentage, and the wheel said, It said beep, 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 beep. It shut off. And that was the one time I didn't have my knee pads on. So my another meat crayon incident, because I shredded all the skin off of my knees. It was bad, right through my jeans, right through my knees. I got up, brushed myself off, and I was like, oh no, my Insta361X got crushed by an 18-wheeler. That's all I cared about.
Oh, through the skin.
Yeah.
The camera.
I was like, the skin will grow back, legit. But that camera, no bueno.
Oh man.
Oh, Ruben's
that's the worst.
Ruben's in the house. What's up, Ruben? Good to see you, man. Yeah. So, my man was down there. He was at the Anth Electric Games, putting in work. And he had his little son, like his son was like killing it. Yo, your son is amazing, dude. Yo, he's so tiny on an M10-3, like putting in work. I was like, yo, he was doing circuit races. He was riding off road. He was doing everything on an M10-3. Like, that little kid was no joke. And Ruben was killing it. Ruben had he had a Nikola. I think it's in the photo of his icon there is his Nikola, and he was doing everything with that. He was all over the place too, killing it, hitting jumps and off-road and racing, and it was so much. So shouts out to you, man. Good to see you. What he said, you guys coming to the Broadway this Saturday? I think he's talking in the chat. I hope everybody that has an opportunity is going to go. Patty Mack said the 18-wheeler almost took out that hand. Forget the camera. No, the good thing is, it was in the lane next to me, but when I fell, the camera went sliding over into that lane. So my hand was not attached at the time it got flattened.
You're like holding it, it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, it fell. I hit the ground hard, and the camera went sliding out into the lane. But the 18-wheeler did pass in the lane next to me. So if I would have fell and rolled that way, it would have been a problem. We wouldn't be having this conversation right about now. So I thank God that it didn't happen that way. Yes.
Count your blessings, man.
Yeah. Yo, Vibe said this is injury intervention.
Anyone who's ever like, nah, I'm not going to get injured, come join this chat right here.
Yeah,
We'll show you what's up. There's two types of riders. Those who've been injured and those who will be injured.
I like it. Yes. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. We should get an image of somebody riding on a wheel or a board or whatever with band-aids and bandages all over them because
Band-aid stickers.
Yes, man. It's so funny.
Junior, you watching?
Yeah. Yo, Vibes, EUC Vibes had meat chalk instead of crayon chalk. You guys are terrible.
Same image, but
yeah,
I don't know what's worse because crayon comes off faster, but chalk is meant for the street. I don't know, man. I don't know what's worse.
They're both the image alone for both of them is like, ow. That's all I could think is, damn, that hurts.
A red crayon is all I'm picturing. A red crayon for the meat crayon. That's all I'm picturing. Oh
So,
God.
oh, Mad Bevo, what's going on, man? And Annabelle
Yeah, man.
says,
We wanted to go to Amp Games this year, and because it was the first year of Amp Games, and honestly, we would have gone, but it happened so fast, and it was literally like the week or two after, like we had 4 events back to back to back in
yeah.
August. I mean, we were a sponsor for the Wake Off 2022 and here in New Jersey. Then we had the groundings event. Then we had the expo. Then and then I mean, it was just too. It was we honestly we just didn't have the energy. We didn't have the energy to pack up the trailer again for the 5th time and travel down south and spend a week just sweating on wheels. It's just we were beat. So we're gonna try to go next year. We're gonna try to go next year.
Listen. I can guarantee you have to make it next year because this was like the event. It was so amazing, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to go. Oh, Nate from the Granular Life. What's up, man? What's going on, Nate? Good to see you, brother. Okay, checking again. Is that too loud for your ears, guys, in the chat? Let me know. So, let me ask you a question. You were talking about how you learned to ride, right? And how you got an opportunity to get on an EUC. Now, talk to us about what's going on with your company in the world of EUCs, because you mentioned some things to me, and I want the people in the chat to understand what's going on with OneStopBoardShop and EUCs now.
Sure. So I mean, it's apparent to anyone in the PEV space that EUCs are awesome. Obviously going to be some people who are like, no, I'm not touching that or whatever, but that's with every sport, right? But as a general, as a whole category within the personal electric vehicle industry, which is already niche as it is, excluding scooters and bikes, which are mainstream, EUCs are so up and coming. I mean, every single time you turn around, you hear someone talking about an EUC, or I've got there's that really good meme of stop sending your friends memes of people on wheels. They've already seen them. Like I've got all my neighbors, whenever they see something, they're like, they text me a thing. I'm like, yeah, I saw that 3 weeks ago, bro. Like, I appreciate it. Like, don't stop sending them because I appreciate you thinking about me. But like, that's actually a buddy of mine.
Yes, that's what happens to me.
I know the guy in the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're a full PV company, right? We don't just do any one thing. If it has a battery and a motor and rides a single person, we do it. It doesn't, go-karts, bikes, scooters, boards, everything. We do summerboard, we do e-skate, we do one wheel, so to EUC, right? We've seen it started the same way it did for one wheel. We saw that there's like no one around. There's nowhere to go in the East Coast for support, for repair, you have to, everything is ship your stuff in or order it online, for repair and sales, right? So that was always something that we were like, like I said, we were always looking to get into this. And then and we did try to get into it a little bit, and we dabbled, but never really put in the effort again until shout out to Dennis. He pushed us. He got us. Like, he was like, guys, we need to be doing this. I'm like, all right, let's work on a strategy and a game plan so that we can make it known. We see the need in the community, and our whole thing, our whole shtick, our mission at this company is to keep people riding. However that may be, we want to keep you riding. It's in our slogan. It's in our tagline. Stay riding is something you'll see everywhere with us. It goes in the bottom of all of our signatures and everything. Stay riding and keep riding, right? the same way with everything else over here in the East Coast. We're 5 years behind California. California, they have everything. They have all this electric stuff, and we just don't have anything over here in the Northeast. We don't have anything here in the East Coast. We don't have anything in the Eastern Hemisphere of the country. So we always knew that we were going to need to expand it. And then Dennis came in, and we went in. So we started with maintenance. We started with, all right, let's tell people, let's find a way to get the word out that we do this. So we started doing a couple, people like ask questions. We started posting up a couple things, and then, word got out, and, people started realizing that we're here for them. Right. And they started bringing the stuff in, and every single time one person brings it in, we'll put up a story, and then 10 more people will see it, or they'll tell their friends. And, lo and behold, here we are. That was, I think we started really, like, we've done like one or two since we've been here in Somerville. And just so for the audience, timeline of OneStopBoardShop, established 2019 in my garage, August 2020 to May 2021 in our first tiny shoebox store in Martinsville, and June 2021 till now we've been in this in our new facility here in Somerville. So now that we have this facility, and we always knew that it was something we wanted to do, and we have the capacity and bandwidth to do it, and we know that the community needs it. We know that there's riders here in the tri-state, in the Northeast, and the East Coast, and in the Eastern Hemisphere of the country that all need the support that doesn't currently exist. There, and not to say that there's nobody. There are companies out there. There are shops and sales and other other stores that do sell, but it's so few and far between. We can't call it, we can't call it full saturated support. It's not like you can go like, I can within in my hometown of Bridgewater, there's 7 different garage, like major, like corporate garages, like Midas and, Jiffy Lube that I can take my car to for service. Then I can go to all the dealers. I can go to the little shops of people who, of store owners. There's so much option there. In PEV, there isn't. Our average customer base drives 2 to 3 hours to come to us. We do mail-ins. It's, we had this one EUC guy. If he's watching this, bro, shout out to you. He came up from North Carolina and stayed in a hotel because he didn't want to ship it in. So he wanted to come up and get his wheel worked on. And he drove up here from North Carolina and stayed in a hotel while we worked on his wheel.
Wow. Wow.
So that's my point. That though, that's my point. He's got no support down in North Carolina. He's got no support on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We need to be there for him. We need to be there for the people that need support in this community. Listen, wheels break. It's going to happen. Whether it's maintenance because you just shredded so hard you wore out your tire, or there's a warranty issue, that you need the labor for because you got the parts replacement from the manufacturer or whatever. Whether it's, oh crap, I crashed and everything is exploded, not literally exploded, like, pieces of plastic broken off and stuff. We're talking batteries here, not actual explosions. Actual explosions, we'll get into it later. But people need, they need a place to go for repair. That's how we started. And then so many people coming in, like, I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm so happy that I had a place to go. I have friends that want to get wheels. Can I bring them here? We're like, all right, I guess, we wanted to be there to support our riders from a repair perspective, because there's so many other places that, you can just buy your stuff online, but people don't want to buy it online. They want to come in and test and demo and try and see and touch and feel, just like every other sport, just like One Wheel and E-Skate. That's why we have demo wheels and, demo hours. And, you can come into our store and try. And obviously we have our online too, that, actually our online is still more prominent, but still, even if you buy online, faster shipping, I can get something in New York day rather than 5 days from California. You know what I mean? So, that's both sides of the coin, retail and service. We need to be there for our riders. And we realized that there was a need in this area. And so, who better to fill it than OneStopBoardShop?
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. I like I said, I tell you, and I guys in the chat, I wanted him to tell you a little bit of, because I felt the same way. I heard the name and I'm like, that's boards. He don't know nothing about EUC. I'm like, he's not EUC. But so Mickey's in the house. What's up? EVX is in the house. Hey Mickey, how's this? Is that better? Because a few other people said something to me, so I turned it down, and then my voice is lower, so I turned it up. You tell me. Mickey's a perfectionist. He has all his technical shit tight. So, but Mickey says, I wonder if I if I have to send a cease and desist letter for their slogan. Because what did you say your slogan is?
Keep you riding.
Yeah, and Mickey's is keep on riding, never stop. So not the same Mickey, close,
No,
but not the
cease and
same.
desist.
Vibe said one
You
stop.
won.
EUC Vibe said one stop EUC shop. And so talk about the name. You were telling us about the name thing too.
So yeah. So I mean, just for everybody, right? Coming up with the name of a company is hard. So I'll give you a background on me, and then I'll give you a background on the name, just so you understand the lack of creativity I really bring to the table. Um, so, and I personally, I love the name of our company. We've talked about, should we rebrand or something? I love the name of our company. I love the reputation we've built. I come from law. That was my background. I'm not the creative guy. I'm the legal guy, rigid and business oriented and all that. We scrapped, and I need to reverse for a second because I got to give a shout out, to my boy Sonny. So I actually, we're moving so fast here that I totally just didn't even, I glazed right over that. My Sonny is my best friend, and he's actually the guy who like convinced me to open up my shop way back when. He's the one who when we realized that there was the community needed help, we jointly together were like, we have the solution here. So literally none of this would exist without my boy Sonny. So I'd like to give him a shout out on that. And
Shouts out to
bring it back
Sonny.
shout out to Sonny, man.
Hold on. Shouts out to Sonny.
He'll love that sound too, because one of his old car horns sound like that. So when we were coming up with the name, there's so much that goes into building a name in a brand new company. There's so like anyone who doesn't know that Apple sells iPhones thinks, oh, do they sell produce? Like there's so much confusion that can go behind those things, right? So we wanted to go with something that was, that could be kind of creative and on the nose, and again, as I told you yesterday, domain available, right? OneStopBoardShop.com. After we had picked that name, it was lucky to keep it because that domain was available. We could have done One Stop Wheel Shop, One Stop Ride Shop, but like, I don't know if there would have been. We wanted to make it known that we were in rideables. And when you talk about, like if you were to have like One Stop Anything Else Shop, sometimes like Ride Shop, there's a lot of companies out there with ride in the name. We didn't want to like encroach, right? When you talk about wheels or whatever, there's so much different, there's so many different things that you have to think about. Is who are you encroaching on? Who can confuse you for something, like confusing a board shop for EUCs? That being said, we, board shop was something that we thought, can translate into anything rideable. And yeah, it's definitely not as on the nose as it could be getting into new spaces. But remember, guys, as a PEV company, we do bikes, we do scooters, we do EUCs. So we do a lot of things that aren't quote unquote in our name. But there's also a lot of companies out there that, Amazon started as a book company, I mean, that wasn't, quote unquote in their name. So, I mean, once you have a core audience, once you have a core business foundation in what you're looking to do 3 years ago, and things expand, you're not just gonna overhaul everything and change that. So what I did is I made sure that I relied on good marketing efforts, a good team. Gerardo and Junior are fantastic. Those are the two guys you see running behind all of my marketing, and they do a great job of getting the word out. We got a long way to go. We're still a new company. We've only been around since 2019. We're still a new company, but in the realm of 3 years, we've grown, and that reputation will grow with us. We have that core solid foundation of reputation. So if we can get our name out there, to people who are like board shop, they don't do wheels, to say, okay, they do wheels, but now I know that they do wheels and they have the background of a good reputation from their history. That's, match those two together and you got magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was looking to make sure you were able to get across, because Mickey had a couple comments in here, and one of the things he said is, he said, Brian seems super cool. They also have a good rep as a board shop. So, your rep is already out there and it's already known, in the community.
Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate you.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, because you were saying you wanted to build that rep, and then you wanted to continue, and now that you're getting into EUCs, you wanted to continue that rep and convert it over into EUCs as well, so that people can get the same vibe from you that they got from you when it comes to boards. And that's what we're I get the idea, the feeling that you're gonna do the same thing, just from our conversations and what I've heard from other people before we had conversations, because Linda was one of the people that put me up on you guys, and she's like, hey, you need to talk to these guys, because they're she's like, I've been going to them from day one, and they've always been doing great jobs, and they take care of you, and they make sure that I'm up and running, and I was like, okay. She couldn't speak any more positively about you guys, and I was like, all right. And then a little while went by, and she mentioned you again, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to talk to these guys at some point, because she's making it clear that she really believes that you guys are gonna do good work. So, and now that you have, how many wheels do you sell right now?
So right now we carry the Nickel AR Plus. We carry the EXN high speed. And as of tomorrow, right now they're available for pre-order, but they're going to be coming in tomorrow. I'm watching that. He's tracking the S22, batch 2 S22. So excited. And as of next week, the core of everything we do, retail included, is keeping our riders riding, and that includes maintenance. Repairs are where we started. I started as a repair shop long before I was in retail. So having things to keep riders riding is imperative. So selling wheels is great, but we need tubes and tires. So we literally have tubes and tires on their way. They like literally, I think an hour before we started this podcast, I finally paid for the order. So tomorrow I'll get shipping confirmation, and they are on their way. So hopefully by next week we'll have tubes and tires.
Yeah, because a lot of people want those. Yeah.
We got some good stuff. We got I'll wait for you guys. I'm not gonna ruin it. Wait till the website goes up. We'll have tubes and tires up on the website. And just so you guys know, if you subscribe to our SMS and join the OSBS Army, you can find all the details on our site and Instagram. You'll get insider exclusives. You'll get insider details on pre-release stuff, and you'll get different offers and deals, and and specials for service and whatnot. So, and those won't be available on all of our channels. It's going to be SMS only. So make sure you subscribe to our text.
Okay, so in that vein, I want to show this real quick. So I'm gonna jump over to my screen share here. Actually, I didn't set it up, so I hope it's.
Will I be able to see this, or should I join on?
Yeah, you won't be able to see it there, so you'll have to join. But you guys can see this is OneStopBoardShop's website. So you can go to OneStopBoardShop.com, and you'll see his website is listed here. And the first thing you see is what? The S22, baby, right there. And then you can see the Begode Nikola AR Plus and the Gotway or Begode EXN High Speed. And then all of the other things that they offer. If you came from boarding, then you'll be familiar with all the things they have on their site. They have the what is it, 1,000, I think, or is it 1,000 or 10,000? That helmet brand, I forget, or 1,000.
It's 1,000.
1,000. Yeah, I see those helmets.
And we also sell TSG.
Okay, good. They got the TSG, and then I see you guys setting up your banner here, and I see some drone coverage. You were at an event here. There's boats behind you. So I'm just
the wake off competition.
Ah, okay. So I'm just scrolling through your website real quick so everybody can see what their website looks like. Um, I like those colorful tires you got down the bottom. I don't know what that's from, but uh, yeah, that's an idea. I wonder if I had my tire a different color. That'd be dope. No, anyway, so there's that. I I wanted to give you, and I guess I could have just been looking this way. I'm looking over here, but I wanted to give you guys. And how did I bunny slippers? I need master with 100 millimeter suspension. uh, we need a lot of
So for
things.
real though, anyone who's on this chat, if you have requests from us, we're getting into the space for you guys. Hit us up on any of our channels and let us know like what you want to see dropped. We don't know what you want until you tell us. So let us know and we'll do what we can to get it.
Yeah, definitely. Um, one other comment that Mickey said I wanted to mention. He said, "Yeah, because you were talking about how there's different repair shops all over the place and stuff like that, but not for EUCs." He said, "Yeah, but cars cost 5K to 200K, so a 2K repair charge isn't so far off, But not to mention the insurance. So EUC repair shop profits are small, relatively speaking, and that's a point I wanted to make because you're a small shop, you're growing." But I just want people to understand because people have the idea that once you have a business, you have a bunch of money. And I try to explain to people that you got to be, you got to realize that there's not a lot of benefit or a lot of profit margin when it comes to EUCs right now. And
Yeah.
so, there's not a lot of money to be made. So a lot of people who are doing it like you're doing it because you want to help people. You're not doing it because I'm gonna make a buttload of money. It's like that's not why you get into that. So I just want people to keep that in mind when they're moving forward and trying to work with people who are getting into this. It would be nice to have a bunch of companies around that do this kind of thing, but the ones that we do have, we have to support and have to understand and try to work with so that everybody gets a win in our in this community. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I I appreciate you making that clarification, and Mickey, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, there is a bunch of money in it for car shops, which is why there's so many. And the reason we do it, as he just said, multiple times, the reason we do it is for the community. We are not like if we were to shut down every single other side of our operation and just do EC repair, we would just shut down. It is not. It does not keep the lights on. It is absolutely not not a get rich quick scheme. I'll tell you
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But we appreciate you. Lady Ryder is said in the chat. She said Brian is responsible for me getting into EUCs. I'm assuming that's Linda. I'm just guessing that's Linda. So Nate from Grandeur Life says, "Good luck with the shop. He's got to roll." So he's headed out. Thanks for stopping by, Nate. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. And he says, Mickey said, honestly, you have a great opportunity to be playful with your marketing to EUC peeps since board is in the name. Yeah. So, I mean, he's creative. So I'm sure you guys will have fun with, getting your name out there. And I'm sure that this will be a good platform to help you get that out there. And, I'm sure more people will be paying attention when they see your name. And they'll be different than they were like me in the beginning. I'm like, I just didn't equate you with EUC. I'm sorry.
And we get that. We
Yeah.
know that that's a thing. We're acutely aware of it. When we first got into bikes and scooters, we were like, are people gonna know we're here? But as I've said before, people will know you're here if you let them know you're here, and that's what we're doing. So I mean, I'm right there with you, and we'll get to the place where we will be equated through doing more podcasts like this and
Yeah.
community engagement and outreach. And if you look at like our Instagram channel, our last like 6 posts are all the reels are all EUC reels. I mean, like
Yeah,
I
I
said,
did.
we're pushing EUCs in a very real way. Yeah, I saw you liked a couple of them yesterday,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I see. Mickey said, have fun with it. Don't take yourselves too seriously, and you'll impress everyone with your marketing.
Well, that's what so Mickey, if you go take a look at our YouTube channel and our Instagram, you'll see that we're a fun bunch. You know, one of our last reels was for the V11 unboxing, and the entire reel is our bloopers. I mean, you know, it's I mean, we have a good time with it. You know, Junior is a talented man. Gerardo is you know, fantastic behind the camera. So they really show the lifeblood and personality of everyone here at the shop, and it comes out in our marketing, and we really do try to have a good time with it. I mean, that's otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here if we're not enjoying ourselves? Like, you know,
Yeah.
as you said, this, you know, I was in corporate for 10 years. Like, I didn't, you know, that's not, I got into this because this is my dream. This is my love. This is fun. You know, this is my passion.
Yep.
Riding and helping riders, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's absolutely having a good time with it. Absolutely. And
Well,
so much so that that, you know, Junior, who, like, when he met Dennis and saw him riding in the EUC, looked at him and he goes, "You are a crazy MFer, and I will never get on one of those." Junior's the one who got the V11. He's got a V11 and a V10 right now. He owns 2 wheels in addition to his 1 wheel and a Vault. So
that's funny. Yeah, no, he'll never get into it. No.
No, not until he buys 2 of them.
That's funny. Well, Captain 4169 is in the chat and he says, "Great shop. You will not be disappointed. They really are the best at what they do," with a thumbs up. Nah, I appreciate that, man. I'm sure he does too. Robert Larkin said, "Definitely gonna have to stop by sometime. They like my Insta content all the time." Okay.
we really try hard to engage with the community, man. I mean, like, you know, it's not just about you liking our stuff. Like, we like watching you guys. You know what I mean? Put out good content. We love good content. Doesn't matter where it comes from.
That's right.
You know.
So Linda said, she said, "I almost did green bumpers in the M10-4 just for you." Yeah, she knows the black and green, those my colors. So she almost did the.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So what did she say? You truly should partner the battery shop in New Jersey. Powerful Lithium, partner with them for battery health checks. Okay, he's giving you an idea. The battery shop in New Jersey, since you're out that way. I don't know if you've dealt with them before.
Quick note on that. I don't know who they are. I will take a quick note of that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, whoever that was.
That was Mickey. Said the battery.
Thank you.
Yep, the battery shop in Jersey, the Powerful Lithium partner. So you can work with them maybe. EUC Vibes said, "Awesome."
We do battery. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we do battery repair, rebuilds, and stock pack builds. You know, and a whole bunch of battery work here. Yes, we do have the insurance for it. For anyone who's, like, you know, wondering, that's always the question when you're doing battery work. Do you have the insurance for it? Yeah, we're a legitimate business. We have the insurance for it. But getting cells is difficult. So if there's a partner right here in Jersey that I could drive to, wonderful. So thank you for that, Mickey.
Yeah, that might work. So EUC Vibe says, "Awesome company. One Stop Board Shop has the S22." You said S20 Vibes, but I know you meant 22. They rebranded it. They rebranded it.
That's the Gold Eagle is the S20.
Yeah. So Linda says, "Doing great quality work on my wheels led me to bring my wheels to them." See, there you go. Patty Mack says, "EUC repair is." Yeah, she said. She told me that's why she kept mentioning your name. She's like, "Oh, I've brought everything to them," and I'm like, "Okay."
She's literally had E-Wheels just drop ship stuff to us and she'll ship her wheel to us just so that we can get the stuff faster.
Yeah, and that works, you know. So she's bought so many things. She buys and sells on a regular. So, Patty Mack says EUC repair is in great demand, especially with the increasing specs. Yeah. And Mickey says everybody loves bloopers. Fantastic. So I didn't actually get a chance to watch that blooper reel. I started seeing it. I said, "Oh, V11," because V11 has been one of my favorite wheels so far. Excuse me. So, and I hated selling it. Oh my God, that hurt. It was so hard for me to. I got the master.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah. The
Right.
speed difference alone, I was like, I have to. I just because I loved the V11, but I couldn't ride it in a group, like, a fast group ride. You know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
leaving me behind, so I never rode it in a, that type of setting. If I'm gonna go on a faster ride, I'm gonna ride the Sherman or the Monster Pro. So
So the Monster Pro is the one that I was gonna get until I tried an S22 and I just fell in love.
yeah.
I was gonna get rid of the XM for the Monster Pro, but the S22 just it hit
Yeah.
everything, and it's red and black, and I don't know if you guys can tell. I kind of like red and black.
That's kind of your thing. That's kind of your thing. Oh, my man Kevin's in here. What's up, Splice? Yo, the creator of the Splice Guard, my man. Good to see you, brother. Really good guy. Shouts out to him again. Splice, I was just telling my wife, I don't know how we were talking about my Jersey trip there, because I just went out to Jersey. The military sent me out there and I had to drive out there, and I left my uniform and had to drive all the way back after I got to New York. I had to come back here 2.5 hours and then go back to Jersey 4 hours. So I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I got on the phone with Splice a couple of times and we just talked the whole way. So he kind of helped me out on that trip. I wasn't as pissed off because I had somebody to talk to. Dennis said, Mick, will you be at the bomb this year again? Oh no, really? Vibes is the man. And Mickey said, sadly, I have to work. Oh man, Mickey, you too. So
Work.
he's not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make I'm gonna be there afterwards though. So I might be. If you make it out after Mick, I'm gonna be up there later. So maybe we can hook up. Let's see. And Christopher Allen, what's up? Chris Allen is here. Wheelie Brady. I used it on my MSP Torque in the wheel rally. Garbage. LOL. As expected. Though didn't fall once though. He different. A lot of people have, different ideas when it comes to what they're gonna ride in different situations. And the situation at the Wheel Life Rally, it's the terrain is hard to ride. So some people came with certain wheels and they're like, yes, and then they're like, wait, oh shit, this ain't doing well. So you never know what's gonna work. Like the S22, I figured the S22 and the Master were gonna be the two wheels, to beat, and they were definitely in contention, but it seemed like issues happened, especially with the S22 with Law, because Law, I don't know, man. He had a lot of issues with it. He couldn't quite get it. I mean, I don't know if it was just because he hadn't ridden it a whole lot as much as the RS that he was riding before, but then he fell and it shut off and he couldn't get it to turn back on. Everybody passed him. He's like, no. We were like, he had like a huge lead, and like, he hit something and took a shitter and he jumped back. You get back up, put the wheel back on and go. Well, he couldn't get the wheel to go back on and balance again. He's like, shit. And he kept fucking with it and one passed him. Then another passed him. Then another. I was like, oh my God. He was heated. So he was not happy with the performance of the S22 at the rally, for him at least. And
Was that a batch 1 or a batch 2?
I don't even know. I don't even know which one he has, but I know he got it from Yuko. And
had some issues.
Yeah. He was like, so I thought it was gonna be like, the top. But and then I thought the Master would be the winner overall, because Jeremy was riding the Master and Jeremy can ride and he's no fear. So I figured he would be the one, and was very surprised that Tarzan was the winner. And Tarzan, I think Tarzan was on an RS. He was either on RS or EXM, but I think it was an RS. And he won, and he actually turned around and rode through backwards. I was like, no, you didn't. Talk about rubbing it in your face. Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, come here, let me slit your tire. and and I wasn't even racing him. I was like, what? So, but but real quick, I want to show your Instagram also. So I'm gonna hit my share screen. So real quick, hang on. I'm gonna jump off screen uh, real quick. So here you guys see One Stop Board Shop on their IG page. You can see they have 4,231 followers. And you can see their posts here. You can see that V11 post he was talking about, and the S22 Eagle right there posted up, and then all the board content. Okay, this is the second time I'm looking at it. What's the deal with those colorful wheels I see there? What are those for?
So those are Evolve 7-inch all-terrain wheels. They're literally they're knobbies. They're meant for off-road. And they're just like wheels, like rubber. It's raw rubber. Just dyed different colors.
So can
They're
I
all about customization.
can I dye my tire?
There's no reason you can't. The dye they use lasts a little bit longer than what you can get in the stores. Because once you start shaving it down, you'll see the original color coming through. But yeah, there's no use if you use proper rubber dye, it won't end up. We can do it for you.
That's what I was looking for, brother. That's what I was looking for, right there.
Yeah, we definitely can do that. That's but it won't last forever because it doesn't penetrate all the pores of the rubber. I mean, it's just not in the composition of a compound. That's just not how rubber works. But that base layer, it'll look good on day one, and then it'll crack and peel over time, and you'll wear through it. But then you get that weathered rubber look, and it looks awesome. That's all it is. Just,
I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. I may have you do one for me.
Either send me the tire you want. Let me get the tire you want. Yeah, let's talk, man. I got you.
All right. So Mickey said we were talking about the wheel life rally, and Mickey said the wheel life rally is a lower body torture in the best way. Stretch before you ride, and you better have great quads. If you saw my Instagram reel with Mickey taking second place there, coming through and as it was a tight race for second, and as he came through, he drops off the wheel and he comes over. I'm like, so what's up, man? You gonna go do a victory lap? He's like, I'm skipping leg day because it was so torturous. It was so torturous on your lower half. It really is, but it's so much fun. Right. He was riding the Sherman, I think, right, Mickey? You had your Sherman. Yeah. So there were so many wheels and so many people that day. Yeah. So Devo is saying the S22 is the biggest disappointment in 2022. Now I know there's been some problems and some upgrades, and people, from what I understand, they keep fixing it and fixing whatever the issues. I just know that there was a lot of iterations they had to go through to get things right. But I think right now they're on a good path.
So when the batch 2, the batch 1 had a whole bunch of issues, right? We've actually got a batch 1 in for repair right now. That were, it's a faulty controller board. When the batch 2 came out, I know that there was a handful of error 27s. I know that there was a handful of miscellaneous problems here and there, but I've seen few and far between as many issues as as other second and third iteration wheels of other brands. I mean, every wheel is going to have a problem. There's just no getting around, EUCs and it didn't come with an issue. You're like, go play the lottery, it's just the nature of the game. You're getting stuff from China that it's gonna have problems. It's just that you want to be in EUC, you're going to have some sort of issue that you're going to have to deal with at some point. Hopefully it's minor. Hopefully it's not.
Yep.
But I've just not seen a whole lot of error 27s are the biggest issue I've seen with batch 2 S22s, and it's definitely a little bit of a complicated, dangerous process to repair on a DIY level. But I mean, this is what we do every day. It's not a difficult repair. So we can do that pretty easily. It's just a matter of if it's not an error 27, could be anything, right? I mean, any wheel can fail for any reason, but we just we haven't seen a whole lot of them.
Right.
So if you got a specific instance of something that you're disappointed in, please, let us know. Either hit us up in the chat, or hit up one of our social channels so that we can see what the issue is, and maybe take a look.
Yeah, I think he's just mentioning all of the issues because honestly, I mean, I understand where he's coming from because I was another one. Once I rode the S20 at the demo before they changed it and rebranded it and did all, I was in love. I was like, I can't wait to get this wheel. And then the master dropped and the top speed, like, not that I'm looking to push that top speed, but at my size, 134 volts, able to do that speed, I just felt I had to go with the master. Now, obviously the master has the suspension issues that you got to figure out what you're doing for suspension, because like for me right now I have it at 400 psi, and although it's cushy on the drop, it thunks on the return.
Return.
Yeah, it's like dunk dunk every time, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So it's an issue. So I got another shock, and I'm gonna put that on soon as I get some time. I've been so busy, but and try that and see if that works. I went with Roger and Merlin Fish, the cutout plates, and the no, I can't think of the name of the shock, but I went with another shock. So I'm gonna give that a shot and see how that works out. Hopefully it works out for me. But the S22 had that stiffer suspension, and so far I haven't heard a lot of people, some people like it stiffer, some people don't, but I haven't heard people trying to, swap it out, so it doesn't have the same issue with swapping out the suspension. People are just rolling with it. It just had, the motherboard issues, and, so it was a disappointment because you're like, yes, yes, yes. And then you saw all these failures and all these issues, and you're like, whoa. And everybody was, I don't think anyone's had more of an exciting coming out than the S22 or S20 at the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was a disappointment.
What was the wheel you were riding that failed on you that you had to get replaced? Was that
Monster
your
Pro.
Monster Pro or your Master?
The Monster Pro. Yeah. So it was. So it's still shocking to people. They're like, and you're riding it now? Like, I'm like, upgraded motor, upgraded motherboard. I'm still a test dummy,
Well, we're all test dummies. I mean,
yes.
These are imperfect technologies.
Yeah.
So I mean, how I see all these comments about the new Challenger coming out, the V13, of people asking about its limits and whatnot. There's only like how many people actually on these things testing it out. So well, when it finally is out of pre-order and like in production, and riders here have them, I mean, we won't know what the limits are until someone pushes it and gets past.
they actually, when we started this live tonight, someone put in the chat about that, because I don't know if you saw that there was a V13 cutout, and I didn't see the video, and I didn't talk to anybody yet about it, but I think Zen Lee put up something. I think Zen was just talking about it though. I don't think he had a video of it, but somewhere there's a V13 cutout, and they were talking about it. I don't have details yet, but like you said, now people are going to start getting it in their hands, and that's when you get the true test, because when it's just with the company, we don't know what's what. But when people start getting it in their hands and start putting it through the paces, that's when all of the hiccups start surfacing. So that's what we're gonna see now, Oh, Ustride is in the house. What's up, Ustride? Oh, and he said, well, Devo was saying, trust me, guys, I wanted the S22 to succeed. And then Ustride said, then somebody killed the S20. I wonder who that was, Stride. Who burned it up? You. Okay, we can't blame you. We know it ain't your fault. You just happen to be on it. You just happen to be on it, We don't want to point fingers. No, just kidding. Um, okay, so my EUC journey said clear cutout. Yes, the video is on YouTube. Oh man, I'm gonna have to search that up when we're done here. But yeah, it's a
Immediately.
possibility. Um, okay, Splice said Zen did have video. Okay, so he grabbed the one from YouTube. I didn't have time yet to check it out. So I definitely want to look at that. But you know, it's the same thing. I know every wheel there's a possibility of issues. You know, there's been very few wheels, and as a matter of fact, has there been a wheel that hasn't had any I don't think there's been a wheel that hasn't had any problems. It's just some of them are more televised and pronounced than others. You know, then I have my cutout. I mean, not my cutout, my failure, because it was a complete wheel failure on mine.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the hell? But, you know, then I think there was only one other. So it's like, well, everybody wasn't having it happen, but because it was an old board with new, everything else was new, there was a possibility of that happening, and they didn't foresee that. So they quickly made changes, you know? So I think the key to it is every wheel has a possibility to have issues, but they have to be quick on the draw when it comes to fixing those problems, standing by those problems, addressing those problems. If they do that, then they stay positive. So even though the S22 rebranded itself and all that and made some changes, I still think it's going to be it's going to be a very viable wheel for quite a while, because so many people still are jumping on it and riding off road on it. And I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I still wish I had one, even with the problems and whatever. I still wish I had one, but it's the lower speed. Like I feel like, you know, when I'm riding and I want the wheel to do everything, and they just don't. You know, because I love off road, and if I had an S22, I would be using that primarily for off road, and then the Master would be more street riding. You know, because it's just faster. So, you know, I wanted it to do both.
That's the thing for me. I'm trail through and through. Like, that is my jam.
I love it.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love trail riding. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. You Stride said, great show, Cobra, great guest.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, Zen did have that up. So I definitely want to, like I said, go and look that up. I kind of want to do it now, but I'm feeling like, okay, what the hell? Hold on.
Let's do it. While you're looking that up,
Go ahead.
I'll say a couple things. So, you know, I am going to get the S22 personally. For me, it's coming tomorrow. If I have issues, I'll be sure to report back so that you can talk about it on a future channel or a future episode or something like that, so that you know, people can know what's going on. Because I'm hoping and praying. But, you know, if it's got issues, it's got issues, right? I mean, that's you know, that's the thing of it. One thing I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but and I really hope that King Song and Bigode, you know, follow suit a little bit more heavily. But I think my experience from what I've seen, In Motion is definitely the leader of the best recovery and, you know, quick fix, quick on the draw whenever they have an issue. Like, I feel like someone's got an issue. Like, it's one person and there's a video out there, and it's like immediately, like 3 days later, there's like new iterations already like in production. I don't know if I'm being biased on that, because that, you know, they're my personal favorite from a safety perspective. Pagoda's performance, In Motion, and safety.
Yep,
but
that's
like,
true. That's accurate.
Yeah. So I do hope that Bigode and King Song, you know, start to pick it up a little bit more, you know, quick on the trigger when they do have those issues. That's you know, and not wait till another, like, oh, you know, we'll get it next time. Like, you know, no, fix it right now. Like,
right.
Fix it right now.
And that's the key. That's the key that they don't, you know, that everybody doesn't get, is it's not about, now, don't get me wrong. I would love everybody to do their due diligence and make the best wheel they possibly can make, putting all the options in as far as safety is concerned, with all of the options as far as performance is concerned, and then give us the best product they absolutely can. And I say that because you can absolutely see when they don't. Like, when there's shortcuts made, and I'm going to call out Be Gold right now, just because and I love, obviously I have Be Gold wheel. I love them, but there's been issues, and I'm gonna call them out on the T4 right now, because the fact that they put old ass pedals on the T4 pissed me off, because it's stupid. Like it's stupid. You created like
Yeah.
one of the best pedals out there, but you get a great wheel and you give me a crappy pedal. Why? I don't want that pedal, and I don't want to pay you a bunch of money for a wheel that's new that has that pedal. Nobody's going to ride that pedal. They're instantly going to change it. So give me the new good pedals. You even the M104 even came out with new pedals. I'm like, really? So I was very upset.
Theory on that is because they know how hot that wheel is. They know how much people are like digging the T4, and they're like, people will just upgrade. So either it's a decision of, we don't want to spend the money to put in the good pedals, thinking that they're going to go after market, or they saw an upsell opportunity. So yeah, I mean, it's a justifiable concern. That's the theory. That's my theory.
Yeah, I'm just upset.
I think it was a bottom line conversation. You know what I mean?
And look, I get
that up,
I get why they did it. I get why they did it, because they probably had a 1,000 of them in a box in the back. They figure, let me throw that on, but I'm like, that's not cool. That's not cool.
No. No, and you can't. I mean, if you're going to surplus, if you're going to clear out surplus, sell them for a discount. I mean, you can't manufacture new product with surplus product. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I just that just upset me. So all right, let me see. I know I missed something in the chat before I go to that video. I got I love what Be Gold is doing for the Master and T4 first batch buyers. And that's what I mean. The fact that they're trying to help people out, that's what they need to be doing. They weren't doing that at all before. Before, it was like so slow and, I don't know, and send me a bunch of video and I don't know what we're going to do. You can't do that. You got to be responsive to your people that have issues with your wheels. And if you're responsive and help them figure it out, then they'll be good, So, let's see. And then Robert Larkin, V11 rider here. That's right, man. V11's a great wheel.
Yeah, I've been rocking Junior's wheel. That's seat, man. I mean, that's seated riding. It's just so comfortable. I mean, it's got a good suspension. I mean, it's a slower wheel, but that's it's meant to be. It's so comfortable seated riding. The one thing I think it needs for me, for seated riding to make it like an awesome wheel, needs a handle. Something.
Wait, which one you talking? You talking about the V11?
Yeah, the V11.
You don't like the handle?
But I like. There is none. There's no handle. There's no front handle. Like I think it needs a front handle.
What do you mean? The V11's handle, it has a handle. What do you mean?
No, not a trolley bar handle. I'm saying when you're seated,
gotcha.
When I'm stopping seated riding, and this as a not an expert rider, I feel a lot more control when I'm stopping from a high speed with a quick stop, when I have something to grab onto, right?
Gotcha.
When I pull back, and if I feel like I'm going to fall off away, it's any wheel. I like a handle on any wheel, but I also really like how seated riding is on the V11. I just wish there was something to hold on to.
Well, that's called a splice guard. And he, okay. I don't know, Splice, if you're still in the chat, did you ever get to make one for the V11? I don't know that he did. He did splice guard for a lot of wheels. And right now he's working on the Master and a couple others. But that was the good thing about the Spice Guard. For the MSX, the EXN, it gave you a Sherman-like bar around your whole wheel, so you could grab it in the front and pull back if you wanted. A lot of people like that. So
mounted like a bumper or something like that.
It's mounted more the whole sides of the wheel. So you take off your pads, you put it on the sides of your wheel with Velcro up and down, and it's like it has the metal bar in front, metal bar in back, and then metal bars going down the side, and then you just put your pads on top of it. So he has
I'm
it.
gonna have to take a look at that.
Yeah, go to SpliceGuard. What is it? SpliceGuard.com, I believe. And you can also see him on Instagram and YouTube and whatever, and check him out. But yeah,
Definitely.
Kevin, he does a great job, and actually he works with e-wheels, and he sells his stuff through them too. So maybe you could work with him here because he's close to you, I believe. So you guys might be able to work something out with your shop.
Definitely. We'll have an introduction on this
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You heard that, Splice. So so you can work with him. Yeah, that roll cage it was a game changer for a lot of people. Like last year's Wheel Life Rally, Showtime, she was riding her wheel, and she had the splice guard from the MSX, and she put it on the EXN, and she hit a rock and took a shitter, and the wheel went ass over. She went ass over TKL. The wheel went tuk, 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 barely a scratch on it. Like it was like she said the only thing that happened was that the headlight, because of how it pops in, it popped out. So she popped it back in. And she said that was the only thing that happened, but her EXN still looks new, and she took a good tumble. And so, I'm like, and she's like, that's what I mean. The splice guards work. So it just depends on which wheel you have and how it fits.
I dig that.
I didn't catch this. Mickey said it was Sean's fault. I think he's talking about the S20 Fire. I think that's what he's talking about. I don't know. And Linda says that she's one of those T4s. Yeah, Linda's T4, it died, and she had a really rough time with it, and she was very, very upset. And I'm sorry for you, Linda, because I felt her frustration. She was truly upset. She couldn't unlock it. She kept trying to unlock it, and then she opened the Begode app, and she was syncing it with the Begode app, and then she was trying to update it. And when she was trying to update it, but it wasn't unlocked, something happened, I don't know, and it just died. Like, gone. And now she had to ship it, to a repair shop. And Jason from E-Wheels is working with her to, try and get that settled and get that fixed up for her. But she was so upset. And I said, it happens. I'm like, you'll be all right. They'll take care. You'll be good. But I was like, ooh, that's frustrating. So she's one of those T4 people that it did not work out for. But the good thing is, Linda, you are going to absolutely love that wheel. I 100% know it, because riding it at the Amped Electric Games was amazing. I was like, this wheel is going to be a major wheel for a lot of people. If you're not a bigger person, like I'm 235, 5'11", if you're smaller than me, you're going to love this wheel. Because it's, I think it's a pretty damn good wheel. It's just that it's smaller. So for me, I felt like, it's a little too small for me. I felt like I was back on my 16X. I was like, yeah, that's why I sold that. Even though I love that wheel for teaching, it just wasn't the wheel for me anymore. I've graduated to big boy wheels, and I can't go that far backwards. But it's a great
Linda,
wheel.
when your wheel is repaired, you bring it on down so I can try it, because I haven't tried the T4 yet.
Well, you're gonna have a problem, because you're gonna be quite in love. I can tell you right now, you are gonna be quite in love. That's a really good wheel. Like, legitimately, I was like, holy shit. I said, okay. I'm still upset that they put out so many wheels so quickly and so close to each other, but it is what it is. You get which one you want and hope it works out for you. So we got MDK 420. He says, I'm getting my first wheel, having a hard time picking one. Hero, V11, or the Master. I like the Master because the Clark pads look like they give a lot of protection. Yes, the Clark system, not just the regular pads, but the whole Clark system. It does give great protection. And I no longer keep my Master down here. I keep it up in the garage. So I would show you, but I'm sure you've seen it by now. Yes, it looks amazing. But if you're choosing between the Hero, the V11, and the Master, I would ask who you are, what size are you, and what are you looking to get out of it? Because out of those three wheels, I'm gonna sell you Master. They're all different, but I'm gonna tell you Master if you're looking forward to the future, because both the Hero and the V11 to me felt like wheels that I would graduate from. I did graduate from the V11. I love the suspension, but I felt like I needed more speed. The Hero felt too small to me, and although it does a lot, same thing. It's not a bigger boy wheel. So if you're doing it and you're going to upgrade and you are a bigger person, Master. That's just my opinion. I've ridden them all. And I can tell you, yeah. I just know that there are suspension issues, and they're trying to figure that out. So if you want to hold off a little bit, if you want to get it right now, that's what I would probably say. Depending on your size, if you're looking for that speed, I would, something that you can grow into, because you don't have to go that fast, but you grow into it, and then you will go that fast. So, but again, the V11, amazing. I still have a lot of love for the V11. The Hero did not strike me as much as the V11 did. Like, the Hero was okay to me. I did not love riding the Hero.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I loved riding the V11, and I love riding my Master. So take that for what it's worth. Get more opinions, though. I tell everybody, get a bunch of opinions, talk to people, and I told you why I gave you that opinion. If you're a bigger rider, if you're going to ride faster, if you're going to be doing this for a while, that's the wheel you can grow into. But, that's just my 2 cents. Okay. Devo says he has a splice guard for his EXN. Nice. So Robert's V11 is a greater starter wheel, but lacks speed. After about 1,000 miles, you'd be ready for a faster speed. Yeah. Actually, I tried to teach somebody on the V11, and it was harder for them to learn because of the high pedals and whatever. So if you're the more we talk about it, if you're gonna just get a V11 as a starter wheel, just go ahead and get the Master, because you will upgrade quickly. Okay, so all right. There he goes. Electrocycle. That's Jeremy. What's up, man? Good to see you. Glad you made it in. So he's he forgot. So he was at the rally.
He's here now.
Yeah, and he was on his Master. And Jeremy is who I thought was gonna win the rally on his Master, and he would have, but he got taken out by Tarzan. Tarzan ended up winning, but they were going back and forth, first place, second place, whatever, and then so Tarzan ended up taking the grand championship. But Jeremy was out there making things happen on his Master. So shouts out to Jeremy. Spartacus, he said the Splice Guard is a fantastic innovation, in my opinion. Hats off to you, Splice. Keep up the good work. That's right. Shouts out to the Splice man.
We're definitely gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk to him.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that, Jeremy. So whoever that was talking about buying a wheel, Jeremy has 2 Masters that he's selling. So if you're looking for a Master, he has 2 of them, and he has these the Clark pad system set up also. So grab Electrocycle, hit him up, and talk to him, and maybe you can buy one of his Masters off of him. On that note, I meant to say it to you yesterday, Brian. I do have my Sherman, which is the OG Sherman, with my dope ass black and green color scheme, and my Monster Pro. I'm selling the Sherman. I'm selling now, but the Monster Pro, it's gonna take me a little longer to let go of. But I want the Master Pro and the V13 to replace them. So
you get the V13, I was between the Master, the V13, and the S22, and I was like, I was this close to getting the V13, this close. So what put me off, what the reason why, the same thing I didn't like about it is probably the reason you got it. I think it's too heavy of a wheel for the kind of I like to ride nimble, and
Right.
I'm not a bigger dude, so I think it's too much wheel for what I wanted to ride.
Gotcha.
Like I can see it, like all the things you talk about that you would love. I feel like that's like, like hits all the check boxes.
Hmm.
But I definitely want to try it, and I don't know anyone in the area who's pre-ordered one. So definitely. Well, when you get yours, let me know. I want to try
Oh
it
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm sure that more people others will get it before me. Like I was saying to somebody else, I'm just now trying to put myself back on the list for testing wheels and stuff. I had, when I got hurt, I was like, you know what, I ain't testing nothing. but but in reality, we are all testing. It doesn't matter, So it's like, yeah. So E-Wheels was sending me, and then Yuko sent me the EX to test out. Shouts out to Yuko. I love those guys as well. And I just completely stepped back. I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. But now I'm like, but I'm still testing wheels out anyway. Like the Master I got is in series instead of parallel, the Molicel P42A batteries, which is what you don't want, because if it fails, it fails. And and
Mhm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are worried about it, and I'm like, um I'm testing it. Once again, I'm in a position that I'm testing something,
Yeah.
so I'm like, so I might as well try to get back in the arena and try to, get the test wheels so I can do demos
But
and
you can
maybe,
get that upgraded.
yeah. What's that?
You can get that upgraded from series to parallel. You can swap that out.
Oh yeah, I can, but the thing is, to swap it out, you got to swap the battery packs, and I think you also, I don't. Is it just the battery, or is it also the, not the motherboard, but the
The
smaller board?
BMS.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
BMS the
Yeah.
BMS has to be changed, the batteries has to be changed, and I'm like, is it feasible to do that, like money wise? So I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do
Well,
that.
that's, that's the golden question.
So I was getting mine from. Oh, first of all, Splice is gonna have a splice guard for the Master next week. Just so everybody knows who's talking. I know you guys probably seen it in the chat, but yeah, I was gonna get my wheel from E-Wheels because they were doing the safer batteries, and they did a redundancy thing, and so they were working off that, but then it got backed up and sidetracked and held up in shipping because the containers wouldn't release the container, and it took longer and longer, and then I was going to the Amped Electric Games and I needed a wheel. I wanted a suspension wheel because I have to have suspension, and I had just sold my V11, so I was like, I gotta get a wheel, and so I ultimately had to cancel um, my pre-order with Jason, and just I bought it off someone, and they had gotten it from Yuko, and they swapped out the batteries and put in the P42As, and I was like, well, those are high performance, let's go. Then I heard all the but then I had just talked to Merlin Fish, and he told me how his cut out on him and he was pushing it, and I'm like, well, I don't push my wheel like that, so I don't have to worry. And then they're like, yeah, but it's a problem, so I'm like, ooh, I'm still very concerned. And but I ride it, and if something happens, then I'll be again the test case. So I mean, I put on all the gear all the time and hope for the best.
just for the audience, I failed to mention, if you guys ever buy your wheels from Alien Rides or Rev Rides, we are an authorized service center for Alien Rides and Rev Rides. So we actually, you'll find us on their service page. So if you have any warranty or non-warranty issues, we actually work with both of them directly. So that's why I asked you where you got it from, because I was like, well, maybe we could talk about a warranty spot, but
Yeah, there you go. See,
Yeah.
so that's perfect. If you guys, Alien Rides, Rev Rides, you can go directly through him, and he works directly with them. So that can work for some people who are close to you, like you said, who don't want to send it so far away. Because I mean, there is somebody here who had like a Sherman battery issue, and he was missing one battery because one battery wasn't working right, and forever he had that one battery because he was trying to send it out, and then it was in the container that was trying to come back, and he never got it back, and it was like a pain in the butt. And I'm like, if we had more service centers and more people with direct connections and supply built up, then we could probably do a lot better. It'd be easy to drive to you and be like, hey, it's probably 3.5 hours away for us, but it'd be easier to drive to you, get the wheel fixed, and drive back than it would be to ship, wait for 2, 3, 4, or 5 weeks, then get it back because their shipping container is stuck, and it's just a whole lot. So
Yep.
So hopefully it'll help a lot. You'll be able to help a lot of people, I'm sure.
That's the goal. That's
here's
what we're
another
trying to
one.
do.
I'm just choosing between the Sherman S or the EX30. EX30. I'm gonna say EX30. I'm gonna tell you right after rip. EX30 is a next gen wheel with all the upgrades that these other wheels are. They're taking all the information that they're getting from all these wheels that they're putting out, and they put it together in the EX30. And right now it's looking like the unbelievable wheel. So much so I was like, do I still get the V13 or do I get the EX30? I don't know. But the Sherman S, and it may turn out to be a great wheel, but it's only 100 volt. It's not 126. It's not 134. It's only 100 volt. I don't believe it's a hollow motor. And the suspension is based off of the telemetry, kind of like the V11 versus the shock that you can change out if you want. So it doesn't have that ability to change out and swap out. So I'm thinking the Sherman S is another incremental upgrade. I don't see it as a full new wheel upgrade. Yes, the body's a little different. They changed that a little bit, and great. And they finally put suspension in one of their wheels. Great. But it's still 100 volt. It still feels like, and I'll be honest, reminiscent of what they did with the Monster Pro. Didn't upgrade the motherboard, but they gave you a new motor. They gave you, a new wheel, but they didn't upgrade the motherboard. So I don't think, the more battery and all that, but I don't think the motherboard can handle it. And that's what I think happened to my wheel. And I don't know that that's going to happen with the Sherman S, but I feel like for some reason I'm getting the vibe that they didn't do all the due diligence to upgrade everything because it's still 100 volts. But that's just my feeling. I hope I'm wrong. Because I love Sherman. The Sherman is a great wheel, but I also don't love the low pedals. I've always been a very big critic of the low pedals. It just doesn't do it for me at all. The V11 just made me love high pedals. Now the Master made me love high pedals. I just love high pedals. It's a different ride. It's a little more, a top heavy feel, and you got to get used to it. But I think that's the way we're going. I don't think that I don't think 100 volts going to be it. But that's just my thoughts. Giving you my pearls.
Wheel talk.
Wheel talk. That's right. This is wheel talk, baby. It's for real. That's right. Wheel talk. Wheel life on the Wheel Life Show. So he says Sherman S looks like a winner, and if the EX30 turns like the EXN did, it's gonna be the fastest wheel. There's no way the Sherman's gonna beat the EX30. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen. The Sherman's not gonna beat the Master. It's just not gonna happen. It's 100 volts. It's not gonna happen. Right. It's just the races that we were seeing were crazy, but the Master's just is fast. And you see the Master Pro, it is fast. like they have it down. They have the equation down. So the EX30 is gonna be fast. Like, yo, I'm sorry, you're just not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. Show him the Solus Guard. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. It looks a beauty. And then Devo says, yeah, it looks like a beauty. Suspension seems top notch. The videos I have seen are really impressive. Oh, that's for Splice. Splice, you got something new to show us, buddy? Let me know. Send it over. I'm hoping the V13 has good range. I think it will. It's got the heaviest motor ever. I was like, why are they promoting it's the heaviest motor? I don't understand that. Like, there was no good in that statement. I was like, okay. No good. Like, V13 will have decent range, only like 3,000 watt hours. Yeah. So not great range, but decent.
I'm interested to see this whole removable suspension thing. That's super interesting to me. I mean, the fact that you can decide. I mean, I also hope that it's not a gigantic pain in the ass. Taking it out, putting it in, taking it out, putting it in. I mean, I hope they made it like modular enough to like want to remove it and put it back in. But, like,
right. If it's a super pain in the ass, you're gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Take the suspension out today, but I feel like working on this thing for an hour before I ride. I'll just leave it in. Like, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
And emotions are notoriously feels to work on. They're so you have to they even just to do a tire change takes like so long. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I do hope that made it a little bit more modular than I would suspect they did. But I am interested to see how that's going to work, because having suspension and having the option to go no suspension, there are some times where, you don't want suspension.
Yeah.
And having the option to like remove it, kind of a killer idea.
I'll tell you honestly, having the option to remove it seems like a killer idea if you're not in love with suspension yet. Because once you fall in love with suspension, you will not want to go without suspension. I can tell you right now.
For me, I'm coming from an EXN, and I've got the pipe dream of a wheel that's got suspension that I'm not riding on a daily basis yet. So I'm in transition.
I know.
So that's why it's.
Yeah. No. Look. That's why I'm saying it to you, because I'm telling you, once you fall in love with your suspension, you won't ever want to go back. And I know that a lot of people were questioning that. They were like, I don't know if I'm gonna like suspension. Even Jeremy, Electrocycle, he was like, whatever. He just was not on board. He not like he was bad mouthing it, but he wasn't on board. He got a master. He's like, I am never getting a wheel without suspension. Like he's like, it instantly changed, because you can ride at Mach 10 and not slow down and go over bumps like dunk, 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 and just keep going. You can't do that on a non suspension wheel. And when you go back to riding one, you go, oh shit. The only wheel that I don't feel as bad when I go back to ride is the Monster Pro. And that's because it has a 24-inch tire that soaks up some of those bumps. But the Sherman, when I go back to the Sherman, I'm like, damn, where's my suspension? Like, I go over like bumpy roads, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I just don't like it.
So would you get rid of your Sherman? Would you don't want a Sherman S?
I look, well, right now I don't.
You weren't like that. You were like,
well, listen. Right now I don't. They could prove me wrong, because the Sherman, original Sherman, the OG Sherman, right there proved me wrong. Like, it was that box. I was like, that's a boxy ass design, and that tire is so loud, and there was just so many things. I was like, whatever. I went and did the demo, and I was like, oh shit, hold up. Like, I was like, wait a minute now, and they made me change my mind. So they could do the same thing. They could make me change my mind. It's possible. But right now, I don't want it. I want the EX30, I want the V13, and I want the Master Pro. Those are on my radar right now. The Sherman S, it was until we dived into the specs, and I was like, no. So, but I love the look of it, and the videos look great. Looks like there's minimal travel because I was afraid that it was going to have crazy, as much travel as the V11, and the V11 was a little bouncy, even though I love the wheel, but it was a little bouncy. So I was like, they look like they did a better job because it's less bounce, like less amount of travel. But then again, there's a lighter guy on it, and I don't know what the tire is at. So I'm waiting. I'm reserving judgment.
Interesting you say that. So do you like a lot of travel in your suspension, or do you like it stiffer?
I like better suspension. I say that because more travel does not always equate to better travel. So the conversion to the shock that we have now, like I wasn't a big fan of the S18 because it was a small wheel and not made for me. Like I could over torque that and hurt myself, so I didn't even ride that wheel. But so I wasn't on board with their suspension. It wasn't until the Master came out and I was like, oh, okay, now I see how that suspension can work. The EX20S. Okay, now I can see how that suspension is good because I can swap out the shock to something else if I don't like the way it rides. The S22 is stiffer, but I like that it still has a shock out the back that I can swap if I need to. So
all right, so apples to apples, same wheel to same wheel.
Okay.
What's your preference? Do you like how do you like your suspension? How do you like your return? Like, do you
I don't like my suspension super bouncy, but I like my suspension comfortable. Like like I rode Mike Leahy's S22 and I thought his suspension was too stiff. And that's because I like
he's doing.
Yes, I know.
he's got to keep it stiff, otherwise he's gonna bottom out.
100%. I know exactly why. As soon as I stepped on it, I knew exactly why it was that stiff, because he has to have it that way.
Why did the egg out of land?
Yeah, and he's like he's Superman, so he has to do. He's jumping buses and shit. So so Shibby is the man. Shouts out to Shibby, my man. So I knew why.
I want an S22, by the way. I watch his videos and I'm just like, I know I can't even try to replicate what you do, but I just want to ride your wheel.
Yeah, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that got it and are getting an S22 because of Shibby. So, and I get it for
on Rev Rides, for bringing him on.
Yeah. So shouts out to the Rev Rides too. Nathan Rev Rides, great guy. So I like my suspension comfy. I got suspension because I want the ride to not be jarring. So I want it comfortable enough where I feel like, yeah, and at the same time, I want it quality enough where it's not bouncy suspension where I'm like boing, 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 but I just want it to absorb the drop and maintain contact with the ground. So the suspension has to do what I need it to do. So that's why the Masters right now, the suspension at 400 PSI is cushy as hell. It's where I need the suspension to be. However, that top out thunk that I'm getting I don't like it at all. So some people said to put a foam thing in the top, and I'm thinking about trying that before I swap the shock out just to see if it'll absorb that thunk I'm getting. But I want that kind of suspension. That being said, the S22 that I rode originally, it was softer, and I really liked it. So I like the S22 when it's set to softer. I don't like it stiff.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
that's because it's naturally a stiffer suspension. So
yes.
So that's probably your compensation of it.
Yep. So that's just me. That's how I like it. Comfy, cushy, but stiff enough that I can still jump things because I'm just getting into jumps now because of, Shibby and Brian Norris. Shouts out to Brian Norris, my man, my coach. I got you, coach. he was coaching me up over there. Brian's a great dude. He was coaching me up and jumping. Electrocycle, Jeremy, he did a lot of jumping over there. Same thing. He started the same time I did, but he had more time on it. He was doing it more, and he just kept at it, and he's gotten better at it. And I want to get better at that too. So I want to ride the S20. I mean S22. I really do, but I just don't think I can buy one because it only goes 43.
So for me, I'm that was one of the biggest things for me. I'm not in high speed in a lot of things I do, and maybe it's my PTSD from injury or whatever. I can't even fathom even breaking 40. Like that just doesn't even that's just not my jam, right? So and I know all the guys in the chat right now are all like, oh, just you wait, bro, just you wait.
Yeah, I was just about to say it.
I get it from Dennis daily. He's like, well, you really want to get a wheel with like more speed. I'm like, I really don't. Like, I don't think that like the V10 and V11 aren't enough, but like, the EXN was plenty. But like, I don't need a 45, 50 mile an hour. It's just not for me. But one of the things that, all right. Courtney, my wife, if you're watching this, I had no part of this.
Listen, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but the one that's most enticing to me to try and ride that I haven't ridden that I think would be, and maybe it's because of my love of the EXN, but the EX30, like like I want to try the T4. I don't think like I'm ever gonna buy a T4. Like I want to try the E13. I don't think I'm gonna buy a V13. But the EX30, man, that's a wheel that like I don't know if I would, but I feel like put it under my feet, and that would make me have one of those, did I make the wrong choice? You know what I mean? Just from watching the videos, because I haven't ridden one yet. And that's a goal of mine. A goal of mine is to literally put my feet on everything out there. Yes. We just, the same reason we got into EUC is the same reason we can't ride every EUC. There's just not enough around here.
Yeah. No, definitely. I get that. So, I mean, the more you're doing it, obviously, the more wheels you'll ride. And you and I are going to do some things together. So you'll be able to, whatever I do, you guys are close enough that I can reach out and we can, do some things together. Cause I like I said, I like your vibe. I like what you're doing. And I know we're going to do some things together. So, I want to show the video. So somebody in the chat, thank you. Who was that? Spartacus. Thank you, Spartacus. I see what you said and I pulled up that video. So I'm going to watch that real quick. But the comment I've had on the screen for a while here, I didn't know that some of eWheel's containers just caught fire. And I'm like, no, not again. I did not know that.
Today?
I don't know if it was today, but Electrocycle is saying that some of his some of his containers caught fire. And I'm like, shit, he already had that happen, and it took a lot to recover from that. Oh, and he said, yes, just a day or two ago. That's terrible.
Does he know if they were on site or still on a boat or what?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, Electrocide said, hold on, false alarm. That was an old post I just checked. Okay. Yo, you scared the crap out of me, brother. I was like, oh, dude, my God.
We all got heart attacks now over here. Like, like, oh, you good?
I was about to reach out to Jason. As soon as we're done, I was about to reach out to him. Yo.
Shit. All right.
Yo. Legit, man. Legit. That's crazy. Okay, so
not April yet.
No. Yeah, I know, right? Is this April 1st? No. So I am going to I'm going to grab some more of these comments, but I want to put up that video. Let me silence it because I don't know if he has music in it. But check out the video of the V13 cutout. Let's take a peek at this real quick. Okay, I'm going to share the screen there. And are you going to play for me? There we go. Oh, he hit a bump, hit the ground. Oh, damn. It really did just cut out. He wasn't going fast. He hit a bump like we will be doing. and it just cut out.
Break that down though. Is he leaning like way too far forward off that jump?
No, he's not. Look,
He's not.
because
Yeah,
he's not at
I'm
all.
a little bit
Because
on a delay from you.
yeah,
I'm on a
yeah,
delay.
yeah. That's why I just keep letting it loop. You can see when it loops, he's not overleaning or anything. He's pretty neutral in the jump, and it's not until after he lands that the wheel cuts out. Right when he lands, it goes boom, flattens out, and then all of a sudden it's off because he goes forward. Right there.
Now, open debate question. That's clearly suspension enabled, right?
Yeah.
So, with that, would he have still cut out no suspension?
Yes. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever's. Yeah.
You were like, that's not a debate, Brian.
No.
That's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cause simply because the suspension has nothing to do with the suspension is helping it. When a wheel hits the ground on the other end, the suspension, that's where the suspension does its job. So it absorbs some of that brute force shock that you get when you hit the ground. So it hits the ground, but the wheel has room to compress and then room to expand, as opposed to just hitting flat and all of that blunt force being directed.
This is not a lean issue. That wheel cut out.
Yeah, it legitimately cut out. So I don't know. And the thing is, I love the tire on that wheel. like shit, the tire, the pedals. Damn. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on.
You know what, though?
I'm drooling. Hold on.
I'm not a fan of the orange. That's a very specific. Like I'd wrap that thing in a whole kinds of customization stuff.
Okay, well
that's
you say that, and I agree because my colors are the black and green.
Are black and green.
Your colors are black and red, so you're all about that S22. And I agree. I see the orange, but the orange is something different. I don't really see.
It is.
Yeah.
Every single wheel is black or some iteration of black. The fact that it's got a pop of color is definitely nice.
Yeah.
It's a pretty orange.
It is.
It's not an ugly orange. It's a pretty
Nope.
orange.
As a matter of fact, Wheelie Dope has his V12 kitted up to look like this. I mean, he has orange pads. He has, all kind of orange. His bumpers are orange. So everybody's like, "Oh, is that the V13?" He's like, "Nope."
Freaking hilarious.
But his wheel looks really, really good. Like, I was like, damn, that's a good looking wheel. I was like, you did that on purpose. He just smiled. I was like, oh man. Yeah. Good. So Ruben says, I need suspension in my daily commute. You do, Ruben. I know you're rocking that Nikola. Dude, if you get suspension, you'll lose your mind, because Ruben's a good rider. Yo, you'll love that, man. You got to get something with suspension. It's like, it's really a game changer. If you get a high performance wheel with suspension, though, that's the only issue. The V11, that's not the high performance. So it was cushy or whatever, but you got to get one of the high performance wheels with suspension. Like, I'm looking at that Master Pro like, damn. Like, the things that are happening with that wheel right now, I'm like, damn. But, it lots of money.
Yeah.
Lots of money. So I honestly think I may end up selling both of these and getting one wheel. So then I'll end up with the Master and something else. I don't know that I'll be able to buy a third wheel again, just because the wheels have gone up so much. And, I got a 5-member family here. And the way my banking account is set up is a checking and a savings. And it's just not going to clear.
I have a question for you, this is something that I don't see any change in this, but just for conversation's sake, price is really like what I see is and Dennis and I talk about this all the time, the biggest barrier to entry for EUC. I mean, if you look at how EUCs perform for the EUC community, I'm not talking spec for spec. I'm talking about proportionate performance, to other, like E-Skate and One Wheel. yes, EUC, the basic EUC is higher spec, higher performance than the highest end of everything else, right? So I'm talking proportionately speaking, entry level of eSkate to entry level of EUC and up. The barrier to entry, it's just so much more expensive to get something in EUC that the price is so high. Do you see that changing at all? Do you see when 4K TVs when they first came out were $7,000, now you can get one for 500? Do you see that changing over time? Do you see the prices going down as the technology advances to a place where we can have more quote unquote mainstream, entry for riders who want to ride but just can't because they can't afford it?
Well, that's a good question. We talked about it last show, and I can tell you right now, part of the reason that there's an issue here is we know that technology is advancing, yes, but the companies that are, most of the parts are made in China, and trying to get the parts here is the problem. So it's costing people more to get the parts that they need. So that has to be reflected somewhere. On top of the fact that the manufacturers begode mostly, and not just begode, because every one of the companies has gone up in price. Now I know they went up in price because of parts and availability, but they also are going up in price because everyone wants these wheels. So they know they have us over a barrel. No one makes these wheels but them in China. We don't have a U.S. manufacturer, which is another problem in itself, because if we did, safety specs would have to be different. Things would have to be much better made, and then the price would still probably go up. So that's the issue.
But at least you get something for the money. I mean, which is a completely different debate. If you have an increase in cost, but an increase also in safety and other things, and recourse, right? You have no recourse for anything that happens because China is not bound by U.S. law, and so you don't have anything you can do if something happens. The best recourse you have is a hope that distributors and retailers will be able to help you. There's only so much they can do,
right? Because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of margin for profit, so there's not a lot for them to bite into.
We're not dealing with $50,000 automobiles.
And look, I get it, but that therein lies another argument, because as we bring it over here, yes, we have a recourse, but what is our recourse? We are very litigious. So once you start suing a company, how long before that company is no longer viable, before that company cannot survive? So as 100%. As we enter into these things that we're going forward, but my question also is, like, not question, but my feeling on this is, because it happened to me, is I'm glad I got a new wheel, but I would have liked to have conversation with them. And what we almost did, because I know you don't want to just give me money, and that's not really what I was looking for. Like, there were some things that, because it was a recreational injury, it wasn't covered by my work insurance and stuff. So there was, personal things that had to be taken care of that I was like, oh. But they almost were convinced to give me another wheel as like a second wheel, as kind of like payment. Kind of thing.
Free, like a replacement, and then another one on top of that.
Yes. And they almost did it. And if they had done that, I would have been like, okay, that's a step forward, simply, not just for me, because, hey, I got a free wheel, because I'm sure I would have sold it and used the money. But because it was a step in acknowledging culpability, acknowledging responsibility, acknowledging that this not my fault. Like, I didn't build this, and you couldn't even figure out what happened. We sent it back to them, and they couldn't even figure out what happened. So I'm like, obviously it ain't my fault. So something, hook me up with something. But no, nothing, because they're not here and they can't be held responsible. They can be found responsible, but they can't be held responsible. And that's the issue, so it goes both ways. Yes, we can hold the companies here accountable, but then we could also snuff those companies out and cause it not to be as, profitable, and not something everybody wants, people want to get into. So, I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I don't know which way it's going to go. I always hope for the best.
And the hope would be that perfect world, which doesn't exist, so to be clear on that, the hope would be that if we have those standards, those safety regulations, those better QC processes here in the States, that companies want to avoid litigation, you would have less opportunity for it. But the issue, which is, what you just touched on.
Wait, I think my AirPod just died. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm through the computer mic now.
It sounds better actually.
All right.
Go ahead.
The issue is that you have 15 instances of something that they can't be held responsible for. Nothing happens. You have one instance, better safety precautions, but one instance where someone's held responsible. That suit, could take everything down. Because it's not, a free wheel is great, but a free wheel is what, $3,500? Litigation is several million. So I mean, it's just such a vastly different, obviously insurance would cover some of it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But all of that being said, is that there needs to be a balance between what can be done better and how, and then what can the community rely on for the very, very hopefully small and disproportionate areas of failure.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into that would probably be an entire 3-hour podcast by itself. So.
yes, and we're already at 2 hours and 15 minutes, so we're not gonna talk about that then. So I can tell you right now. Oh, actually, now we're way behind because I see others that have jumped in the chat we haven't acknowledged yet. But Devo said, "I want Emotion and King Song to come out with one more wheel each, so Begode can answer with another 10 new wheels."
Savage. It was good. Shots fired.
Let's go. That's funny because that's exactly what they did. They're like, "You want to put out wheels? I got you." They put out a bunch of wheels. I said, "Holy shit."
Oprah.
You get a wheel. You get a wheel. So Green Shark says 100 volt is the pass. Or Green Shark, yes, it definitely is, in my opinion anyway. Once you go suspension, other wheels get no attention. I'm making a shirt, dude. I'm making a shirt. I got to put that on a shirt.
Oh, you guys are just getting me more excited for tomorrow. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Yo, I'm excited to watch your unboxing and your opening, and you're gonna be drooling and like happy and excited. So, but I wanted to shout out Roger. Roger's in here. He's what's up, Roger? Roger's my man, yo. Shouts out to Roger. Roger is very knowledgeable, and I've been talking to him a little bit back and forth. He helped me get my new shock. Thank you for that, Roger. I still didn't get the other thing there, I can't even think what it's called now, but I still got to work on that. I know you sent me something, so I'll get it. But he said, I sold my Sherman, my custom master with 4,800 watt hours will take me on my range rides. Okay, you're custom. See, and that's what I mean. He's customized his master and put 4,800 watt hours in it. Yo, I want to see it, Roger. I know you probably already posted, so I'm going to have to check your feed because I know you must have posted that. What was that?
I said that's a big fire.
Yeah. So he builds that kind of stuff. He built chargers that can be used with all different wheels that have adapters on them built in. He built these. Yeah. Yeah. So he's one of those people I have faith in, but it would be a big fire though. So Samuel Unchained, is that Sammy Pacheco? I don't know if that's you, buddy. I can't remember what your screen name was on here, but he said, "Are all Begode batteries wired in series safe?" So series versus parallel. That's the question, and people are saying that it's definitely safer to have them in parallel, simply because if one fails, you still have one operational and you won't get a complete failure. That's the reason that series is not as good as parallel, and people were saying it's dangerous. However, the Molicel P42s that I have in mind, which, another question, can the Molicel P42s be put in series? That's another question, because I know they said if you swap them out and you can go parallel, great. But do I have to swap out? Because I like the fact that I have the high discharge batteries. Can those be put in parallel? Can you change the BMS?
I'm going to punt that question to an answer that can't happen tonight, my engineer, and find out from him. So I can definitely get back to you on that. My gut reaction is, yeah, there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to. As if they're discharging in parallel, then it doesn't matter. I mean, it shouldn't. And coming from, I am not dying on that hill. I just my gut reaction is it shouldn't. But for anyone who's watching, I'm not. If you ever get a battery built from us, my engineer does. So I'm not dying on that hill. I don't know, but my gut reaction is not, it should be fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, hold on. Mickey said some things I missed too. 130 pounds, bro. It can handle that V13 cutout. Yeah. It's
damn heavy wheel.
Oh, can't handle that. I don't know. Hopefully it's just bad firmware. I hope so too, Mickey. He's saying that he hopes that V13 cutout is just bad firmware. There's so many, he said V13 is a redneck wheel. Okay. I don't know where that's coming from. I've obviously missed some comments.
An explanation on that one.
Patty Mac says, Ruben, get a master. NYC riders need the top speed. Well, then he has to get a Master Pro. And that's the top right now. People are loving the Master Pro. Good reviews so far. It's just too big for me. Yeah, it is. And actually, that's the thought. Ruben, maybe you will like a Master better, because the Master Pro is a big ass wheel. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm like, give it to me. But it's not for everybody. Yeah. So MDK 420 says, yes, the price does suck. I need to save $750 more before I can order the Master. But all my friends I talk to, they all I want one, but my wife will not let me spend $2,000 to $4,000. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what the deal is. A lot of people can't spend that money. It's a lot of money to spend on a wheel.
So there's a boat company that I don't know, they sell boats down on 22, about 20 minutes from here, and we pass it whenever we go that way, and they have this marquee, and it's a customizable marquee. They can change all the time. They never do, and I love it. The sign is fantastic. You drive by it, and it's you're driving down 22 and you look up and you see your wife called. She said it's okay. Every time. I'm like, genius. So, I love it.
Your wife calls. She said it's okay. Well, those of us know that that's not the case. It's not okay. I'll tell you right now. I never get the it's okay. So I'm like, it is what it is. Okay.
So this is the regular thing that we get here. So we got someone standing up at the register talking or whatever. Like, oh, all right, I want to get one. All right, hang on. Let me just call my wife. Honey. Yeah, no. I'm here at the store. I want to get one. No, I thought you said it would be okay. They get all quiet and they tuck in.
That's pretty accurate. Facts right there. Facts. That's for real. It is what it is. Oh, you got a new one. Okay. He squared it off. Here, hold on. Let me send this to my computer real quick, and then I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Splice sent me an image of a splice guard he's working on now. And let's see. Open that bad boy up. Let's put it over it. Oh, I can't. I got that in full screen. Hold on. Let me get that out of full screen. Yeah, I know that I wish I could do whatever, but it don't work out that way. You gotta stay home, stay happy at home. All right, here's the image of his splice guard he's got going on now. Look at that bad boy. Talk about being able to protect your wheel, like
That's badass.
yeah. And so you see how it's flat on the sides. So the sides are flat enough that when you put it up against your wheel and put Velcro on the inside of it, attach it to your wheel, the Velcro get it like it's so strong that like my Monster Pro, I was able to pick up my Monster Pro just using this, picking up the splice guard. I grabbed those two handles and lift it, and the Velcro held. And the Monster Pro is heavy as hell, but you put Velcro all across the inside of those flat pieces, and it holds perfectly. And then you can put your whatever pads that you're using on the outside of that, and you have instant protection, and you also have instant that rail, like you said, so you can grab, you can mount shit on your rail, all that. So again, that's the splice guard. That's the new,
cool.
yeah.
Is
The
that
newest,
welded?
yeah, he welds it, and he has worked back and forth to get the right material, the right welding. He's really good with his creativity and his workmanship. I definitely give him much credit for what he's done. So if you can get a splice guard for your wheel, people, I'm telling you, it's well worth the money. Um, he does great workmanship, and he's a great guy. So you'll like being in, working with him. So EUC Vibes said, he said, I went for a sick ride with my new Insta360 and came back to the live. Well, welcome back, brother. Welcome back. I know you got some dope images for us, so we look forward to seeing what you're going to share with us. Volume reducer. Yes, Roger. That's what it was. You knew exactly what I was talking about. You could put a volume reducer in the shock, and then I'm supposed to put it, what is it, a 0.95 or a 0.90 volume reducer, and to help with the shock. And I don't know what the hell it means, but I'm gonna do it because that's what Roger said. Oh man.
What would Roger do?
Yeah, there you go. What would Roger do? Oh, he's got some more images of from the top down and whatever. So yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I like the way it looks, man. The new splice guard. All right, so we are gonna wrap it up, people. Let's see. Roger said yes. The Molly cells can be done in any configuration. Ooh, baby, Roger, we need to talk. We need to talk. How can I get mine done and get them changed so they would be in parallel instead of in series? We need to talk, brother, because you are the man and you can help me out. And he said, let me see. Hold on. He said they should have used thicker strips on the high output batteries. Yes, that's what I was told by Merlin Fish also. The nickel strip should be thicker, and that would help so the discharge doesn't cause a problem in a fire or a cutout ultimately. But somebody was talking about trying to get, if you're gonna change the configuration or whatever, you could possibly weld some new nickel strips that are bigger or whatever, but that's way above my knowledge base. So I don't know. EUC Vibe said, how does a lawyer find balance on an EUC? Yo, you are just a nut. Actually, that one is more. No, wait, no. All right, people. I am gonna wrap it up. I know I missed some of the comments down the end. Oh, Roger said, send me the batteries and the BMS. I'll rebuild them. Yo, I got you, Roger. Yo, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. If you can rebuild them for me and make them in parallel and get the nickel strips and what. See, that's what I mean. Roger's the man. He knows his shit. He knows how to build that shit and put it together. Yo, you are the man. So, all right, Brian, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience right now in regards to One Stop Board Shop what you got coming up or what you want to talk to them about.
So all I'm going to say, guys, is keep tabs on us, subscribe to our socials, subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to our texts, and our YouTube, and just watch all the stuff that we're going to be putting out soon. We are new to the EUC game, but the EUC game is new to everybody. We're just a little bit newer in it. Just keep tabs on us and watch what we're doing, because we're gonna be doing some big things out here for you guys, man. We're really just gonna try to step up, in here in the East Coast and the Northeast, and really help you guys in everything and anything you guys need, EUC and all PEV. Because lots of us ride multiple things, right? So I want to make sure that everyone knows that we do it all. But if you guys got any questions for us, hit us up on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our website, on our email. We're happy to help however we want, however you guys want, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys out there riding. And if you guys are in the New Jersey area, come on by 8 Roosevelt Place. We're here in Somerville. Just come by, say hey, ride a wheel with us, come on a ride with us. We host group rides it should be on a regular basis. It's been slacking a little bit my injury, but we're going to be picking that back up. So come join our group rides, ride with the team, and for the rest of you, we'll see you at Broadway Bomb.
Yeah. Broadway Bomb coming up Saturday. Again, I can't make it to the actual daily event, a day event, but I will be there after work and I'll be coming in hot around 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. And, I want to say a couple of things. Number one, I didn't get a chance to shop. Those of you who are Amazon members, go do your shopping, because you got the early access if you're a Prime member. And if you're not and you're looking to shop, I'm going to put because I'm also an affiliate with Amazon, I'm going to put my link in the description of here too. If you're looking to get something, click it and go. I do want to shout out, a couple of things that the Wheel Life Rally it was great. I really appreciated everybody showing up. I still have that website up and running, and ThaBlackCobra.com, WheelLifeRally.com, and also, I'm going to have more things going forward. I know I did this as a hobby on the side, not really as a business. I love you guys, and I love hanging out, having a chat, talking to people, learning new things, riding with people. That's what I do this for. However, as I got 2 years left, then I'm going to retire. Then I'm going to be doing this a little more hardcore, hard body. And I'm talking to Brian here and everybody else who's in business already and actually does this as a business. And I'm looking for the opportunity to do that so that I can do more once I'm retired, because I plan on traveling all over and visiting everybody. So you'll see the Black Cobra on the road in a couple years visiting everybody. But I want to be more business savvy and do it that way so that I can have the ability to do more. Because the reason I can't get more wheels is because I just can't. I would like to make more money in this genre so that, I could buy more wheels and do more things and work with more people. But, right now it's still on the side, but it's coming. So, again, I also have the link tree in my website. So please feel free to help out, jump in, and, help me out so I can get further into this. Because guys like Brian know the business. Brian, you amazed me yesterday in your conversation when it comes to the business side. Like, I know you came from the corporate world, and it showed through the conversation. Just listening to a couple of things that you said to me, I was like, oh, shit, okay. I didn't think of that yet. So I was like, all right, so you put me up on game, and I appreciate that. I just want to say to everybody else out there, ride safe, gear up, people, because both Brian and I can go like this and tell you that it hurts. So gear up and be safe, and until next time, till we see you again, keep your wheel. Deuces.
Stay right.